On this episode of the RNG Cast, we are joined by none other than Handsome Dragon from the Destiny Lorecast fame and Twitter, and an all-around awesome guy. We go kind of deep into the saltiness of the community and talk about Destiny and how much we love the game and how much we think that people who are salty should stop. Without any further ado, enjoy the show. Hey, what's up, man?
Gentlemen, how you doing?
Oh, man. Excellent. How are you?
Not too bad.
It was
Tired, but other than that, good.
Yeah, I feel you. It was funny, just to let you know, because we were sitting here and I was looking through, like, my contacts, and I'm like, is Handsome Dragon Chad? Yeah, right?
It's like,
It's like names.
been
We
too
don't.
long.
Yeah, man.
Right? Yeah. You don't know names.
Yeah.
Like, I actually had lunch with JC Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
And we walked up to each other, and I was like, he was like, "What's up?" He's like, "What's up, Buster?" And I'm like, you know, we could probably call each other our real names,
Right.
And he's like, "Yeah, it's just what we're used to." And my girlfriend was with us, and she was like, "You guys don't know your real names," and I'm like, "No, we don't. It's just not our way of doing things, you know."
Yeah. No, my wife and I got together with some buddies. Like, he's a friend of mine. I've known him for years, but it's the first time we've actually met in person.
Mm-hmm.
But I've known him who he is. He's Brian. His wife's Sheila. But still, when we got together, it was like, "Hey, Wake. Hey, Dragon." We're like, why do you guys call each other your names? Like, I don't know. We're just used to it. That's what we call each other when we're playing Destiny. So
Yes.
why switch it up?
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Why change it? That's what I tell them, and that's what I say. But it just made me laugh because we, you know, the first things out of our mouth were our screen names, and I was like, we have real names.
We have real names, dang it.
So
These are our real names.
So I guess we can do it. We can talk about the TWAB. That way we can, tell everybody quit complaining.
Yep. Shut the hell up.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Exactly.
Because your tweet made me giggle so hard, so hard.
Which one?
The one where you were like, see, they are listening.
Oh,
yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I was just looking. I was
Like,
like,
see?
See?
it's just that they just don't think like that Bungie is listening. People don't think that Bungie is listening. I'm like, this game is a month old.
Yeah.
You guys are looking at it like it's Destiny, like it's the original Destiny, and we had so much to do. We also had 3 years of that game. Give them time,
Yeah.
guys. Give them time. So.
Well, it's like they complain about, like they're already out of stuff to do, and then they're like, okay, well, how many hours do you have played? 350. Okay, I think you're good. 350 hours in a month? Yeah, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, and that's like all these people. It's like, oh my god, Destiny 2 is such a casuals game. Really? It's like, same thing. It's like, how many hours do you have in?
Yeah.
300? It's like, oh yeah, such a casuals game. You have nothing
casual.
to do. It's like, if you have nothing to do, why are you still playing?
Yeah. It's a hard concept to get across, apparently.
Yeah, apparently, but it like I don't think I've ever, because you know how they have the heat map website now. Have you seen that? It shows you.
Yeah.
There's a website that shows you the
Like how many hours per
how
day.
many hours per day and when. And,
Oh, Jesus.
Oh yeah, it's intense, man. It's intense. Because when you see it, you're like, okay, come on, guys, you can't complain. Because I've never seen anybody with under 120 hours, ever. Everybody's posting. One guy, I think it was in the.
Yeah, I posted it in Skype.
Oh, in yours. Let me see yours.
I think I just posted the link. I just put not mine specifically.
Oh. We're all going on it right now. You can just hear us all clicking.
Click, 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 click.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I'm at 202 right now.
Oh, Jesus. I didn't think I played this much of Destiny 2 because I do tend to put it down sometimes.
Oh my god.
But I still have 255 hours in Destiny 2.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Holy
crazy.
crap.
Holy shit. I have 209.
Wow.
Wait.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. In Destiny 1, because it brings you up it takes you into Destiny 1, I had 2,059 hours in Destiny 1.
Oh, God. I don't know.
Let's see
Do I want to do this
So,
to
yeah,
myself?
are you doing total time or total time in activities?
Total time, the very top one.
Total time in Destiny 1 was 3286.
Yeah.
Oh, you just barely got me because I'm at
Don't-
2703.
Don't tell my wife.
Okay, so for total time in Destiny, I had 147 hours, and total time in activities, I have 112 hours. Hi, my name is Buster Knuckle, and I have a problem.
And I have a problem.
Like, that's ridiculous.
That is pretty crazy. But yeah, it's a casual game.
Oh, yeah.
It's not for
Oh, yeah, totally casual game, man. Totally.
I wonder if if this tracks PC games.
Oh god, if it does.
I mean, I guess it depends. I don't know.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, wow.
I've only got 10 hours on my baby PC.
Only 10 hours.
Only 10.
It was released like a week ago?
Tuesday.
Tuesday? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Not even a week ago. So,
And I still been putting in my Xbox time too. So that's running double duty. I found out the perfect solution though because I have my two monitors, and so I had I'm grinding on the Xbox. I have my Warlock and Hunter are both maxed out. So I decided to do my Titan, and I'm still kind of doing the grind on my Titan, trying to get 305. And so what I do is I put my Titan on where it's like the Io is the planet for the public events this week, and so I
Yeah.
park them in on Io with the map open, looking out for public events, and then on the other monitor, I'm playing PC. I'm going through the story, playing, and then I look over. I'm like, ooh, a public event started. Switch, put my mouse and keyboard down, grab my controller, run over to the public event, bring my map back up, wait for it, go play over my PC again. So I got the double duty going on.
I mean,
Correction. You indeed have a problem, sir.
you have a problem.
Well, I told my friend, I was like, I want to get my Xbox guy grinded up because that's still going to be my main because all my friends are on Xbox. But
Fair
PC is so beautiful, I can't stop playing.
Oh, it is. It is.
I'm just like, I just want more of you.
Yeah, that was you that had. Yeah, that was your tweet. That with the two monitors. And you're like, this is grinding. I'm like, yeah,
Yep.
you're right. It is. It is. What I'm doing is pales in comparison to playing two separate characters at the same time on two different systems, one TVs right next to each other.
Yeah, probably not my proudest moment, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Don't tell my wife.
Yeah, don't tell my wife.
So, guys, I figured we just might as well just flow right into the start of the show. This is the RNG Cast. I'm Buster Knuckle. Joining me this week are,
This is your boy Raven.
and in case you didn't know, sorry, Handsome Dragon.
No, you're good.
In case you didn't know, the one, the only Handsome Dragon is now on the show with us today. Welcome. Thank you for coming on again. For those that didn't hear the pre-show.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah,
Been a
man.
while.
It has. It has.
Been
Far too long, sir.
months and months, maybe years. Year.
Not quite that.
I don't know. It's
It
been a while.
might
You were one of our earliest ones, too, which...
Yeah.
Mm,
Well, it's good to be
yeah.
here. I woke up. I'm awake. I'm good. Got my coffee.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Ready
sweet
to go.
juice.
I did message you kind of late. I was thinking like, we should have a guest this week. And then I saw your tweet like, hey guys, stop complaining. Bungie heard you. And I was like, there's our guest. There he is, folks. So,
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
right?
Yeah.
I volunteer as tribute.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. So we might as well roll right into the TWAB, because that's what everybody wants to hear, right?
TWAB.
And we already talked about Christopher Barrett.
All right.
Right?
We're
Yes,
going to
yes,
talk about the one thing they didn't mention, right? That's what we're just going to complain about, the
Yeah.
one thing that they didn't
Oh, yeah,
mention.
exactly. We're going to pick through this, and then we're just going to really, drive into home on what they failed to mention.
Perfect.
But
That's
I-
what
I'm-
Reddit's, that's what Reddit's doing, so I figured we'd
Oh, of course,
just jump on,
of course.
jump on with that.
Oh, the salt mines are being salty? No. All those Cheeto fingers? No. Really?
But no. I'm going to dive right into this one. So screw everybody. But within the TWAB, the one thing that, of course, people, surprise, surprise, they launched on PC, but right now nobody cares. But in the right direct next section afterwards, looking ahead, again, Bungie decided to say, hey, you don't think we're listening? Well, our good friend Mr. Barrett has come on yet again, and I'm going to paraphrase a lot of this because, is really, again, it's pretty much Bungie going, hey, you think we're not listening? Here's a short list. So
It's not
Mr.
really
Barrett
that,
comes out
it's not
with
really
a-
that short either. It's kind of a
No,
long
it's not
list.
really. It's not really a short list, to be honest. For things that they're currently working on, this is not a short list whatsoever. But their short list includes, point 1, new systems and rewards to give our most engaged players additional optional pursuits.
The grind, baby. The grind.
I know, right? It's like people are complaining there's no grind. Here you go. They're bringing something back for a grind. Sounds excellent. And I don't even know. See, that's the thing, because this statement is so vague, you don't know what the crap they're talking about.
Not at all. It could be anything, really.
It could be anything.
It could be any and everything, and I hope it is, because, like, as opposed to people talking about the whole grind, I am obsessed with getting the IO armor.
Oh, yeah, that was
the
Densman something.
Yeah.
Weird name.
The Jinsum Knights.
Jins-
The
Jimson Knights, yeah.
Yeah. I just like the way it looks, and I'm on my hunter doing it. That's what I want.
Yeah, I'm actually grinding IO for that exact same reason, because it is actually the only set of recovery armor a hunter can easily get. Because the only other recovery armors that I know of, one is Trials armor, and the other one is Future Warcold armor. So those aren't nearly as easy to get a hold of.
Right, very specific.
Exactly. And I haven't seen the Hunter raid armor, so I wouldn't know about that.
You still haven't gotten the raid yet?
There's raid armor?
No, actually, I haven't finished it, so still. I mean, I really still don't care.
Fair enough.
It's a blast when I do it, and that's... Yeah. But, let's see. Better incentives for players who complete challenging prestige activities. This is fair enough. I'm kind of... I am a little sad that I do have to mention this, because I figured prestige would be a little more rewarding, but...
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, my team finished Dogs and Gauntlet last night, and
Yeah.
I got 5 tokens as my reward.
Oh God, really?
See, that's...
Not mad about it.
That's slightly disheartening, but I mean, they're fixing it. So, I mean,
They're talking about it. They acknowledged
Exactly.
it. So good.
let's see, better rewards and replay value for strikes, adventures, and lost sectors.
Yes.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yes.
So are we thinking strike specific loot, lost sector specific loot? Yeah. Okay. So
I remember. I thought I read somewhere where they mentioned specifically strike specific loot, but I can't remember. Maybe
I don't know, but I guess that's the high hopes, I believe. Low hopes are just more drops.
yeah, please.
I mean, low balling is more drops.
Maybe a legendary. That would be
Right.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm hoping with the adventures and lost sectors they read my BNet post with my suggestion, and
well,
they're going to go that route. Oh yeah.
Wow. Dragon
But
is standard.
I gave a I know, right? We're really jumping out there. Okay. But I mentioned, giving us something with adventures or lost sectors where maybe Adventures gave you specific Ikora gear, and Lost Sectors gave you some Cade 6 gear or something, where they had a heroic version where you could go in, complete 2 Lost Sectors a week that gave you this chance at this high rare gear from Cade or something like that. It gives you a reason to do it.
Oh yeah. That would be nice. That would be nice. Oh, and here's one that everyone's for some reason forgot that Bungie has already mentioned. I mean, I remember them mentioning this before launch. It's guys, private matches aren't going to be in game at launch, but we're working on it. And everyone's like, "Oh, where's private matches? Oh my God, Bungie is dumb for not including private matches. What are you doing?"
I'm pretty sure they mentioned it on the Fire Team chat interview immediately after the D2 reveal in LA, where they said,
"Yeah,
it's not going to be at launch, but it will be coming."
Oh, exactly. And I was like, private matches for the competitive community. We are targeting early 2018. Guess what? They're now giving you a little more of a precise date, and I say a little more because it is early 2018. So here's looking for that.
Yeah.
Crucible.
Are we thinking right after the first DLC? Like the first patch after the DLC? Is that what it seems like?
I would say probably February would be my guess.
Yeah, probably.
Probably the second DLC, but...
Yeah. I could agree with that. Somewhere between expansion 1 and 2.
Yeah, that'd be my guess. Maybe part of the season 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
They space those.
All right, and this one actually I think is they've already detailed because I think it's the next patch that's coming. Crucible tuning, adjusted supremacy scoring and better spawning rules.
I actually think that was this patch.
Well, I know that
No,
they
that's
have
the
a
preview.
patch
I'm
in
sorry.
the preview.
That's, you're right.
So in the very next section, they talk about that. So that's technically marked off the list.
But Bungie doesn't communicate. Bungie doesn't communicate with us at all.
No, not at all.
That's just how we do. That's how we do Reddit. That's how I think everybody in Reddit talks. I don't know why. I think they also have the Cheeto fingers. Accurate. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, one hand on the keyboard typing while the other hand's in the Cheetos bag. There's one.
I love spicy Cheetos. They're so good. They're so good.
Oh god. Oh. All right. So here's another really. This is something half of this I didn't see coming, but better incentives for completing Crucible matches, parentheses, and penalties for quitting competitive games.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you,
please.
Bungie.
Have you guys played any competitive games where people quit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. It's actually awful because it seems... Because at least in quick play, I mean, there is the join in progress thing.
Mm-hmm,
I don't think I've ever had that happen in competitive.
Yeah, no, it's
like the join just cuts off.
Thing. And there's no join in progress for competitive,
and it's awful because all of a sudden it's I think one time it was because I was playing with Converse and it was me and him against a team of 4 and we're like, you want to just bounce? Yeah, sure.
Well, I have no issue in this. They'll mention this in the patch notes, but with the time for survival. A lot of people complained to the community about how long the games were. I loved it. I thought it was perfect. But if you're playing survival and either 2 people on your team or 2 people on the other team quit because they get behind, I had a 40-minute survival map because I had 3 people on the other team quit, so it was 4 versus 1, and you had to kill that one person 8 times, wait for him to respawn each time, and then kill him again. So you had to kill him 9 times. And of course, he takes it upon himself to hide in the map, and then have us run around trying to find him. So every round goes to time, and it was a very long map, and it wasn't very fun.
Yeah.
But then it gets to me where it's I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting.
All right, so that's good because, like I said, usually like the penalties for quitting. I mean, that you usually don't see that. You actually don't see that in fighting game community games. It's penalty for quitting ranked. No, that doesn't happen.
You want a 40-minute deserter? You want that?
Let's see. Continued improvements to Iron Banner and faction rallies, including uniqueness of rewards. Ooh.
Nice. I like that.
Are they going to make the Iron Banner weapons look pretty again?
Yeah.
Please, Bungie.
Please.
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 It's like I even said on the show. Legitimately, they could have literally ripped off the Rise of Iron Banner gear, and I would have been fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have been fine. The community would have been, up in arms, but I would have been fine. That stuff looked pretty.
I agree.
Let's see. Changes to make the mod economy more interesting and impactful. Again, very vague, but sounds very promising.
Yeah.
Ongoing improvements to exotics, including adjustments to reduce instances of duplication.
Thank you.
Support
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah, I do. Again, it's kind of sad that they have to mention it, but
Yeah, they have.
maybe there's something like in the code that's giving them a hard time. I'm going to give them the benefit on the doubt of this one. Oh, and I love this one. I do, in fact, love this one because new ways to spend surplus currency and materials. Looking at you, legendary shards.
All right. So how many do you have right now?
Right this second,
Let's see. I
I
thought-
only have 898.
Yeah, I think I'm at 770.
I have a problem.
737.
I had a bunch. I have a
I
bunch.
infuse like a madman though. So
Oh, so do I. And I've actually wasted a bunch to get
some
two
mods.
quote-unquote perfect Crucible kill tracker ghosts. They give me a bonus 10% experience and a chance for extra reputation drops. Or tokens, should I say. So I got two of those, which probably cost a few hundred legendary shards because RNG, I mean, is two nodes that you're looking... It's basically D1 rerolling. If you want that experience, go for the perfect kill tracker ghost. There you go.
There you go.
Enjoy that. I'm not into that, man. I mean, I've spent. My new thing now is just I'm gonna get a whole bunch of mods and try to build armor sets for every class and every possible way of playing the game. So I have like kinetic mods, and I have the double void paragon for my hunter because if you don't, you're kind of dumb. My warlock is just all grenade recharge because devour.
Because warlocks.
Yeah, because warlocks. Even though I do love Dawnbreak, the Dawnblade better. I love that class. Oh my god, having played with
Dawnblade's fun.
swords, so awesome.
Yeah, that's just the tough with the warlocks right now is you have to choose between being what is the most efficient class in the game, which is Voidwalker. With if you get Devour, you just throw in grenades and melees, and you're getting your super. It's amazing. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's being the best probably team class, which is the Stormcaller, because you can take care of ads. You got your little arc buddies with your class ability, and that's great. But then Dawnblade is just so fun, and you use it, and people are like, "What the hell are you doing? Why aren't you Stormcaller? Why aren't you using Devour?" I'm like, "Because it's fun. I'm throwing swords that are on fire."
Just like when I
Do
play,
you see all these flames?
just like when I play with my Titan, I play with the hammers, and I use the Sunspot build, and everybody's like, "Well, why? Why don't you do two pulse nades?" I'm like, "Why do two pulse nades when if I hit somebody with a Sunspot, my recharge is 10 seconds for everything? Why would I do that?
Why?
I can throw 10 hammers. How many smashes can you get? I'll wait."
Oh wait.
All right, and this last one, this is something I've basically like secretly prayed and hoped for since D1, since they brought in the emotes. An emote interface that allows you to equip Salty Spicy Ramen 6-shooter and flip out all at the same time.
So are we talking a wheel? Is that what we're talking?
Emote wheel.
I'm hoping to God. I mean, because like I said, being able to switch out all of your emotes is something I've been wanting since they've introduced emotes. since they've like started putting in these emotes, it's like, but how come we can't change more than one?
Right. Why do we
And why isn't
always
we gonna-
have to point?
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, why are we having to change out the most useful emote in the entire game? Point.
Why are we changed out the most useful emote in the game. Which one is that?
It wasn't D1.
Oh,
It
yeah.
wasn't D1.
Oh, yeah.
If you see, somebody's points, you're looking. It's like it becomes like a scavenger hunt.
Where am I going? Where am I going?
Exactly.
Who's pointing where? What are we doing? What we got? What are we doing, folks? What are we doing, guys?
Is that the 6th chest on Bog? Where is it?
Oh Lord. All right, and as we mentioned, the patch note preview because next week Bungie will be deploying 1.0.6. Thankfully, the numbers haven't gotten ridiculous just yet. Give them time. And they're fixing a few issues. They are fixing the collision detection with the bureaucratic walk emote, finally. That's people can get their jimmies unrustled over that one. They're fixing an issue causing players to encounter empty public spaces too often in free roam. I haven't even...
I haven't experienced it too much. I've seen people online complaining about it, where they just go patrol all solo because there's no one in their area. So I could imagine that would be kind of frustrating if you're experiencing that.
The fix for that is kind of easy, though. All you have to do is jump out, go to orbit, and go right back in.
Exactly.
And it drops you right back into an instance.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But it's so much easier to go on Twitter and say, WTF, Bungie, why do you hate me?
Fix your game, Bungie. Fix your game.
Fix your
It's
broken game. This game is dead. You lost 78% of its player base in 6 weeks.
Oh, God.
I love having him on. I love having you on,
I know,
Handsome
right?
Dragon, because you're just, like, you're so positive, but your positivity is just like, well, I'm positive because this game is growing and always good, but if you say the game is dead and it's only a month and a half in, you're kind of an asshole.
Exactly.
And if you don't know how to read stats, my wife showed me a coffee mug this morning. I woke up and she's like, "You need this," and it says, "I really want to be a good person, but everyone is so stupid." It's like, yeah, pretty much.
Fair.
That sounds about right.
But here is some very nice things. Is updating Mercy rule settings to allow Mercy to activate slightly later in the match, allowing a wider range of scores to trigger it. Thank you, Bungie, because that I've been stomped.
60-10.
Yeah, I was. I mean, there's been matches I've been like absolutely stomped, and I'm just sitting there going, "It's like, when's Mercy?" I mean, like I said, they've got 60, we've got like 10. Mercy?
Yeah,
No.
Come on.
yeah. That's the guideline, and it's the Crucible, or I think Clash 2 is if you have 60 and they have 11, it won't.
No mercy.
Yeah.
It won't do Mercy. 60-10 is the deadline.
It's
We've
like-
had my brother's the kind of player who, like, he's really good at Crucible, but he's the kind of player when we were growing up playing Halo, he'd take my sister, who was 3 or 4, give her the Xbox controller and go 1v1 on Blood Gulch and put the kill to 100. He'd just go there and he'd be having the most fun of his life, just sniping and killing. Like, I'm on a 101 kill win streak. This is amazing. And my sister's just sitting there like, what the hell's going on? This is not fun. But he's enjoying it. And so he enjoys those type of games. And so it'll be 59-9. He'll be like, don't kill anybody. Let him get 10. I want to keep playing.
There's no mercy in this dojo.
Yeah, don't mercy him. We want to keep getting kills.
What does that even mean? There's no mercy in this dojo. I don't know what that means. But yeah, they do need to fix the mercy rules, because they can be kind of it can be painful when you have a team of Johnny No Thumbs and you're like, what? Do you know how to? Why are you all Why are 3 of you on the point in control? You only need 1.
I know, right?
Oh yeah.
I know.
And people were complaining about that during Iron Banner, and I kind of blame Bungie for that a little bit, because they gave us the it was like not the bounty, but like the
challenge.
The challenge. Yeah, the challenge.
Oh,
to control points and like get so many control captures, and it counts if you're just in it. Doesn't matter if you're the only one or in it. And so if you have people trying to get their tokens, you see people trying to complete their challenges, and so then you've got 4 people standing on one zone to try to complete their challenge. It's like, come on, Bungie, what are you doing? You're killing my team.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing, and I was guilty of that myself.
Yeah, oh yeah. They're like, well, I need
admit
2 more zones. I guess I'll just stand here with these 2 guys.
Exactly, because it's like, as soon as I found out, I was like, oh, I don't have to be the only person capturing a zone? Oh, you're capturing this and you're halfway through? Oh, you just died. Oh, well, gotta take over now, for sure.
Just drag your toe through it to pick up the point, like, I got it.
Yeah, well, and it also gives you a little super energy boost, too, so it's like, you're kind of, it's like you don't want us all to cap the zone, but you're telling me I should.
Yes, and like a lot of these Crucible changes are looking very nice to me. Clash score limit reduced from 75 to 50.
I like that. Mm-hmm. Faster turnaround.
Yes. Reduced score limit to 90 for Control was 100. Now, here's the interesting thing. I'll go ahead and, like, because Supremacy has increased the score to win 270 up from 50, but they now grant 1 point for defeating an enemy Guardian, so it's actually going to go by faster. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, because I was wondering if I was crazy or if Control and Supremacy were just the ones that had the awful spawns, but it's interesting to see. I mean, they don't outright say why, but it's interesting to see why by what they're fixing.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because that was my issue. That was the issue with, like, Control spawns. Because apparently... it
didn't matter where they were. It mattered where the zones were.
Exactly. It's like, well, it was capped. So you go and spawn up on a friendly zone, but they're running... Like, if they have 2 zones, they're running to that one zone. So you're getting, like, crossfired. I mean, it's really interesting. And then the same thing for crests. Crests, like, influenced where you spawned, but because the objective in both of these game modes are having influence of exactly where you spawn, it's creating a lot of wonky crap because it's having the spawning system thus has to keep track of, because if it's anything like D1, the spawning system is keeping track of enemy guardians and where enemy guardians are looking.
Yeah.
And it's enemy guardians, or actually all guardians, and where all guardians are looking. And now it's keeping track of each and every objective, and like who has it and what. So I mean, no wonder there's been freaking wonky spawns. It's like, holy crap. And then survival, reduced round time limit to 2 minutes from 3. They're shaving a minute off that. And reduced the life count to 6 from 8.
There you go, when we get Charles back. And you know what's really messed up about the whole Charles thing? The one guy who figured out, I can just walk into a wall. The week I wanted to go, you know what? I should just jump into Trials and give it a shot. They're like, no, Trials is canceled. I'm like,
Trials canceled.
Well, theoretically, this is actually the time to try. Because this is when a lot of the hardcore community have already abandoned ship to PC.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Because it's not going to be that huge of a difference because you're always going to have like a subsection that will always play on console, like no matter what they think or feel or whatever. But a lot. I mean, and I knew it was going to happen because whenever there's an option to play on PC,
you're going to take it.
PC is the competitive option. Mm-hmm. Like people that want to get super competitive into anything, they play on PC, regardless if it's Destiny, regardless if it's Street Fighter V, regardless if it's Tekken 7, whatever. You know, COD, doesn't matter. It's like the competitive option is going to be PC.
Even World of Warcraft. Well, I mean, that's not even on console, but you know what I mean.
That's what I say. But yeah, and that's the thing, and frankly, I'm kind of glad because that means my only, like, mid-skill level self can actually probably go flawless a few times now.
Yeah, I'm really curious how that affects the
go to your PC
console.
Master Race. I'll be fine over here.
Yeah, I like for all the patch notes. I love them all, except for the reduced life count to 6 from 8 on survival. I think they would have been fine with just the round time limit. I saw King Koala commented on it, how it kind of takes away, like before, right now you can go in and you can get a complete team wipe and still be able to kind of come back from it, where now it's like you get a complete team wipe and it's 6-2. Like that's a lot different than 6-4 or 8-4.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Survival's always felt a bit long to me, and I haven't really liked it all too well. Like when I did try it, but I don't know.
That's because it is long, Des.
It is.
You get a team that's down, they just, I'm just going to put up my tent. I'm camping. And then...
Oh, no, it's not even that. It's like I haven't even come across campers in survival. It just feels long to me.
Oh. Okay.
I haven't really come across, like, I haven't played enough competitive, really, to come across a camping issue. I mean...
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of it, but...
But,
we had one team try it, but it didn't work out for them, so they didn't do it again.
So, only other thing in the TWAB, there's some PC launch issues thing, like known issues, blah, blah, blah. Not that, I don't care, but I kind of don't. I mean, I'm sorry, but
I don't.
I mean, my PC their DPC launch issues don't quite affect me. Sorry, but
There's not really any big ones. Just some
did they ever
drivers,
figure out what the like random like banning issue was or whatever?
Oh yeah, it was
Or
just
is it
people
like-
talking bullshit, basically.
Okay, see, I was wondering because I mean,
There were 400 bans. It was at the first day or first couple days, or whatever. All of them are manual bans. Like Bungie doesn't have an automated system where they just ban everybody. As soon as I turned on my game, I was banned. I don't know why. Like no, you were manually. It was a manual switch. They didn't just automatically do it. They did mention there are a few of them that they're undoing because they in their process. They realized that they shouldn't have been banned. But yeah, for the most part, if you were using programs that they told you not to use, you got banned.
which I mean, it's fair enough because I mean, they're trying to create a safe competitive environment.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, that's the thing. Because again, like PC is the competitive option, but at the same time, it's also the easiest to get into.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can freely access like PC files,
Yep.
no problem.
Oh yeah, can you
Just
imagine
a few
if
clicks away?
if instead of them banning 400, if there were 400 just cheaters flying across the Crucible and on launch day for PC, like that would have just been terrible. Everyone would have been, you got these people coming
Essentially.
from other games like Lyric
Exactly.
and Summit G, and they'd be like, "What is this shit? Like, I'm not playing this."
Exactly. Because I mean, that's in the end. I think that's what happened with the DayZ standalone. Was the fact that they had to spend so much time combating hackers and cheaters that they couldn't even finish the game, and it was like a 3-year early access.
Yeah.
So it's like, but that's what it had like gotten into. They couldn't even like really make progress with the coding of the game. They had to keep fighting cheaters. So I mean, I completely understand why they're so strict. Because again, I mean, if you want, an untouched like competitive thing, like nowadays, you got to let the hammer fall.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, you got to bring the thunder.
Yeah. There was one comment I specifically liked on Reddit though when this was blowing up and everyone was just saying that they got banned for no reason, and this guy was like, I got banned for no reason. I have no idea why I got banned. I signed on, I played one match, and it kicked me off. The only thing I could think of was I have Cheat Hack installed on my computer. It wasn't even running though. It's like, okay, so you acknowledge you are a cheater. Perfect.
Goodbye, and see you later.
Generally, whenever anybody goes, I got banned and I don't know why, my normal gut reaction is, do you not know why?
Do you really not know why?
Do you really?
Really?
It's like that one guy. I mean, you should probably, but it wasn't even running. It's like, dummy. I mean,
It's like, all right, let me explain how computers work.
it's like one of my new vices here recently is watching Twitch fails, and they're hilarious
I bet that's good.
because you get these people that somehow forget they're streaming to hundreds or thousands of people, and they're showing like their CS:GO wall hacks, it's like, what kind? I mean, you're
Hi.
special kind of stupid.
Well, didn't
Exactly.
somebody stream the wall hack for in Trials or something? Wasn't there somebody who did that? Isn't that a thing? I mean, I remember.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, well, you should definitely not do that there, genius, but whatever.
I know, and especially considering, I mean, it's just, I mean, there's probably a time in Twitch where you can get away with that kind of crap just by, like, not saving your VODs. But now that people can, like, clip and there's, like, the commonality of, like, capture card recording software and crap, it's like, you really can't get away with crap.
No, exactly.
As evidenced by the numerous channels that dedicate themselves to live stream fails, which, let me tell you what, they are hilarious. Like, I usually don't like laughing at other people's stupidity, but
No, I love it.
oh, sometimes
It's one of my
sometimes it
favorite
just
hobbies.
gets you. I mean, you're feeling down, and you don't quite know what to do. You can at least take solace in the fact that you're not as dumb as some of these people.
Yep.
It's like, well, it could be worse after all.
Exactly. It goes back to that coffee mug. I want to be a nice person, but people are just so stupid.
I want to be nice. I want to be nice, but man, they make it hard. All right,
Like, I had someone was complaining about the to-do list from Bungie because it was like, it's like, this sounds great, but there's no timetable. For all we know, this will take 5 years to complete. I'm just like, dude,
God.
like, it's like they're not going to mention. It's like, when have we ever? And he's like, I'm just going based off my experience from Bungie. It's like, when has Bungie ever given us a list of things they're working on and not done it with a reasonable time frame? Like, never. If they give us this list, it's because they are working on it right now and they plan to have it relatively in the near future.
People will just find it. I've learned from this whole Destiny 2 debacle that people will complain about any and everything just to complain about something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's like one of the points in case is the fact that on this to-do list, one of the things is being covered in the very next patch.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still on this to-do list. They didn't mark it off this to-do list.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like we kind of mentioned it in the beginning, but it's like you have this huge list of all these great things, and the communities, there's granted most of the community right now is very happy about this, but then you still have that group where they're just like, what? No ranked games? Really? You didn't mention ranked games? And I'm just like,
Which is actually another thing Luke Smith talked about. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
oh my God,
And-
people.
But it's like, and that's like, T-Gigs. He's been in the beginning of Destiny. I didn't really like his vibe too much. But the last year, like, he's really, in my opinion, coming on as one of the more like positive, honest community members out there. But like him and I were talking about it, and it's like maybe ranked games is coming in a soon to be DLC, and they don't want to give away their main selling point right now. Maybe that's why they didn't mention it in that list.
I
Maybe.
mean, like when private matches actually first came out in D1, you didn't hear about that crap.
No,
You
exactly.
didn't even hear about. The most logical thought until they announced it was Destiny 2. We would get private matches, and then
Yep.
all of a sudden it's like, here's this thing that's coming out, and these like private matches, and it's like, wait, what?
Yeah, they're not gonna give away their surprises. Bungie loves their surprises. They're not gonna give it all away.
But there is one thing on this list that does sadden me, but they've already kind of like, no, Bungie, where's my? I'm sorry, let me get the right voice going. Bungie, where's my Festival of the Lost? God,
Come on, Bungie.
ruining your lore. Oh my God. Ah. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, Festival of the Lost. That's my main selling point. Without Festival of the Lost, I hate this game. I really want shitty masks. That's what I really want. You get
Hey! Those masks were amazing. You shut your mouth.
I think they would be more amazing if you could actually put light level in them. If they dropped at like 10 light,
Yeah.
and then you could, because then I want my wolf mask, but I want to actually wear my wolf mask in the raid or in
Well,
Crucible.
but then again, okay, in the raid that's fair, but at least for like the Crucible rules, like it really doesn't matter anymore.
True.
I mean, now
You
that
could wear an Iron Banner now, and it wouldn't matter.
Because and that's the thing. Like that's another thing. Like I want people are slowly forgetting. I mean, now that I am like listening to things, a little more often, considering I work in a warehouse now.
I told you that's what happens. If you work in a warehouse, you listen to podcasts. That's what happens.
Even by having like friendly coworkers that I'm okay, that I have a good time with, except for a couple, because there's always those guys. But there's always going to be a couple people you don't agree with. But it's like, but like I said, I'm like back, like getting my ear into things, and it's kind of like disheartening. Like the amount of, I don't want to say negativity, but the amount of like negative sounding things, and like week by week is like getting worse and worse. And the people are just outright, like usually fairly, objective, like voices just sound so negative because of the fairly heavy-handed opinions that they have of Destiny 2. And there's some people that just are pretty outright negative about it, but it's the fact that I'm seeing a pattern. It's like people are slowly forgetting the foundation in which Destiny 2 is actually set on. People are comparing it now to Destiny 1. In a way, it's like, oh, it's not different. This is pretty much the same game. It's like, it's just like there's like a lot of things that they just carried over, and I'm sitting here going, excuse me? A lot? It's like, what? I mean, the bounty system is gone. Like, can we talk about that? Like, the only way for extra XP in Destiny 1 is collecting bounties that you never had enough space to collect all the bounties.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, they gave us, what, like 16 slots in the end? Something like that?
You said the operative word there. In the end. Do you remember when it was like 5?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was 5 or 6, yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that. And then I remember I was also a lucky individual. And people are complaining about exotic duplicates. I was one of the lucky individuals in D1 Vanilla that would get, like, Vanguard mentor missives, like, at least once a week. Sometimes 3 times a week. People ask me, what do you do? I don't know. I do these bounties. I turn them in. I get a thing.
People act like people act like duplicates have never been a thing in Destiny. Like, I remember running the Crota raid. I ran it at reset Tuesday. All 3 characters. I got 6 No Land Beyonds. Yeah,
fantastic.
And my friends were like, "Hey, you're getting an exotic drop every time. This is amazing." I'm just like, "But I don't want freaking No Land Beyond. I already have 6 of them. I want Gallahorn, dang it!"
And that's the thing, because with the Vanguard mentor missives, I had actually had bad luck because there were 2 sets of 3. And like I think it was the set with like super good advice, the super easy one to get. I only got like a total of 3 times. The other set that had like Thorn, oh yeah, I got that like probably 24 times. So it's I have all these exotics now, and it keeps giving me this, and it's like, but I mean, yes, because exotic duplicates were never an issue,
Never,
ever. It didn't take them like 2 years to fix like a duplicates issue.
Yeah, it's like people are combining Destiny 1, like year 1 and year 3, and trying to act like it's the same game.
Exactly.
Like Destiny Vanilla versus Destiny Year 3 were not the same game at all.
No.
It is fair enough that
Pretty close to Year 3 Destiny right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair enough because there are a lot of things that were left that I am kind of sad did not make a resurgence. Like, Smart Loot was nice, and I did love the fact... One thing I'm missing entirely isn't even really Smart Loot, but being able to choose whether you want a weapon or an armor piece, like from a package.
Yeah.
I miss that. Yeah, I do miss that. It's like, it's not really a gripe, but if I could ask Bungie devs to bring back one thing, that would probably be my one thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is to bring back that choice.
But like we said before, if we had Smart Loot, you'd have all the exotics by now.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
yeah, it's a double-edged sword and that's like I've been getting in my Twitter debates over this topic, but it's like people will complain. And I'll say, "There's no grind. There's no grind. There's no grind," and then it's, "Why is it so hard to get this? Why can't I get this?" It's like, well, do you want it easy or do you want the grind? Like, you got to make up your mind. Like,
Exactly. And that's the thing, 'cause, like, it goes back to also, like, people are like, "Oh, this is such a casual game." It's like, you know what? It's true. You don't have to play this game like you had to play D1.
Yeah.
If you didn't play D1, you got so left behind. Like, hardcore. I've had at least 3 friends. I'm wanting to say 3. It might have been 2. But 2 that I can think of that I had known before Destiny, and there were people I used to play games with. But there were at least 2 friends that just couldn't do it every day. And they ended up getting left behind. It's like, they actually ended up quitting because it's like, I'm just so far behind you guys that I might as well just let y'all just go ahead and play.
yeah.
And it's like, that feels horrible when someone tells you that. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're like,
So here's an example using that site we were looking at earlier. This Scrubland where it shows the days and stuff. So for September 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, the first 10 months of Destiny 1. So that's from September through June. I didn't play Destiny 5 days. 5 days I did not sign into, because it was the same thing. If I did not sign in, even if it was just to do one strike or do a story or go get Xur or something, like if I didn't do something, I felt like I was behind, and I would get behind my friends. I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't be able to do that. They're doing the raid, and I need to get my raid drop that week. And it's like, you had that feeling. And then eventually it's like I kind of cooled down. It's like, all right, I gotta take a little less time on that, focus more on other things. But it's like, you had that feeling in Destiny 1.
yeah.
And I'm very glad that I don't have that feeling right now. Like, I love that I can get on and play for 12 hours straight if I had the time. I could grind it, but I don't have to.
Exactly. And that's what I've said before. I mean, here, it's like, because I get so many mixed signals, like I said, just from different things, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, but, maybe it's just a bad development cycle," in which that could very well be. Maybe they did have, like, a really compact development cycle again, which would actually really suck, because that means Bungie has really bad luck with development cycles. But someone made mention, it's like, what if they only had, like, 2 years, basically, to make this game? Which sounds feasible.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds very likely.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's a really good
case,
that Forbes article. Did you read that?
I haven't.
A little bit.
I don't really read articles about Destiny a lot.
Yeah, I usually don't. This one I liked a little bit because it did explain that a little bit too. Where it's like the lifespan they had to make Destiny 2 was like, it was a 2-year lifespan.
Yeah.
You look at games like Call of Duty,
Exactly.
which is a very, and it comes in the terms of, compared to Destiny, it's a very basic game.
Yeah, it is. Like, legitimately.
Each Call of Duty release has 3 years of development. 3 years for each Call of Duty game. And Destiny 2 was 2 years. Like, that's incredible to me. I just want to get the development team and just take them all out to dinner and just like, you guys are amazing. You did this in 2 years.
And that's the thing, because that's 3 years. But they, like I said, they have 3 studios, 3 separate studios making Call of Duty games, and they literally, that's why they rotate. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, people are complaining, it's like, oh, Bungie doesn't want to listen, this, blah, that. We're actually extraordinarily fortunate that we're even capable of still garnering Bungie's attention, because if you have a problem with COD, like if there's an issue in a Call of Duty game, chances are it's not going to get fixed for another 3 years.
Right. Like, oh, we'll just fix that next game.
Exactly, but that next game from that develop, I mean, I've actually had this conversation with someone, but that's like one of the weaknesses to Call of Duty, is the fact if they need a massive change, it's not going to happen for like 3 years. Because that's when, I mean, they will have like little words here and there to the other development studios, like to change certain things and see how it goes. But again, it's like it's 3 or 4 years before you're going to see a massive sweeping change in a Call of Duty game, like at all. And we're actually like, it's extraordinarily fortunate that we're month and a half in, and we already have a list of changes that the community are griping about.
Yeah.
It's like this community, like I know it's hard to remember sometimes that there's an amazing part of this community. And sadly they get drowned out by a lot of the dumb
very
people.
True.
But this community is amazing, but it's the dumb part of this community that tend to forget. We're extraordinarily fortunate to have a developer that actually cares enough to pay attention. They are stretching themselves so thin in updating these issues in this game while behind the scenes still trying to pump out content for us to consume.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean,
they're not a large studio either. I mean, if you really stretch it down compared to like Bethesda or Treyarch or one of the other like shooter studios,
exactly.
They're not
that's
very
probably
large.
true. I mean, to be honest, they're probably closer now, I would say, almost. Because it would be a little hard-pressed if they went this entire time doing Destiny and didn't grow at all.
Oh yeah, no, they've definitely grown. I think when Destiny they first signed on, I think it was like a couple hundred people.
Oh, yeah,
Now
it was
they're
like
around
a-
1,000.
It was like if I remember reading correctly, it was around a 300-person studio,
Yeah,
which
I
is
think they're about
basically-
1,000 now, so they've definitely grown. But still,
Yeah.
like if
It
you
is
can
still small. I mean, also, it's still on the smaller side, but they're definitely hitting like
compare it to like BioWare or things like that, yeah, they're going to be
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
small stuff.
and people want such constant and I hear and I'm hearing this a lot again because it's hilarious. I heard this a lot through D1's life. I want it to be kind of like an MMO where there's constant content. Do people not realize that I'm using this like MMO because I know the most about this MMO, like behind the scenes, sort of. WoW, World of Warcraft, has like 4 development teams dedicated to the one game.
Yeah. People don't realize it. I think that's the honest thing. People just don't realize it, and they don't really care enough to actually look into it themselves.
Yeah, and basically, yeah, just to put this like into perspective for people, this would be like if Bungie and every Call of Duty developer joined forces, dropped everything, and just worked on Destiny 24/7.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's impressive.
then
You could get constant content.
yeah, then you would have a chance. And that's just like because I remember learning that because I think it used to be like 5 development teams that were working on WoW, but they broke one off to make Overwatch. And then when that was getting closer to completion, they actually stole some assets from them and like sprinkled them back into the World of Warcraft things. But yeah, I mean, it's like, holy crap, they had that many development studios. Or not studios, but just development teams. That
yeah.
each one is probably the size of a studio.
That's pretty
it's
crazy.
ridiculousness.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh yeah, surely it's like no problem for Bungie to come out with content. It's like, oh really?
Yeah, they can do this. I want a DLC every 2 months, Bungie. Hey, with a brand new raid.
Give us free content. And that's another thing. Like a lot of people, like, because I got into Final Fantasy 14 like a pretty unhealthy bit, a little bit.
A pretty unhealthy bit. It's the phrase.
Pretty unhealthy bit.
Let's just break down what he just said there for just a split second. A pretty unhealthy bit.
Pretty unhealthy.
It wasn't as bad as my EverQuest days, but it happened. But no, and that's the thing, because the complexity of the content differences. It's like, people think strikes are like fairly complex in Destiny. I mean, what? I think I just heard that because apparently like raid speed runs or marathon runs or whatever are becoming like the new hype. And I've heard of one finish in like 25 minutes for this raid. And that's like really cool. You can finish a raid in 25 minutes. In Final Fantasy XIV, a dungeon, which is effectively a strike, that's 25 minutes. And that's with complex mechanics like we see in raids. Mm-hmm. Like that's that quality of mechanics. I wasn't even able to make it. And that's just a 4-person dungeon. I wasn't even able to make it into like the 3 teams of 4, the 12-man raids and crap. Good Lord. I can only imagine, because I mean, that's the thing, because like people want to talk about the grind and, oh, I want an MMO grind. It's like, have you actually played an MMO?
Do you really?
Really? Do you really know what you're asking for? I'm really curious, because back in the EverQuest days, to get the equivalent of the exotic weapon for your class, which was kind of the best in slot niche thing for your class, I played a magician in EverQuest, and that was considered like one of the quicker ones to get. Still, pretty much took a month of preparation and doing crap to get a solid month. Now imagine you had to work a solid month to get your sweet business.
Yeah.
One exotic.
Yeah.
And that's the grind people are begging for. It's like, are you really sure you want to do that?
Do you really? Really?
I'm like, are you really sure you know what you're asking for?
Yeah. No, I do wish that they would go slightly that direction. Like you mentioned the Vanguard missives from Destiny 1. Like I loved that. I loved having a quest or something specific where I knew if I work on this, if I do XYZ, I will get this gun. I will get this armor set. I love having those things in the game.
Yeah, like I do love the quest, and I will agree. I like on some aspects, it's like I do miss like the what I call the Easter egg hunts with like Black Spindle, Sleeper Simulant. You know, these things came out of nowhere. I do kind of miss those, but at the same time, people talk about those. It's like, oh my god, it's so integral to the Destiny experience. These things, and it's like they started in year 2,
right? Like they were amazing, but they weren't part of Destiny Vanilla.
No, the closest you got were the Vanguard Mentor missives, which were closer to quests. And you want to talk about convoluted? Oh my god. Yeah, and it's just these things, and it's just like, oh my god.
When people say that, I always want to be like, I don't think you remember it as well as you think you do. You definitely don't, because I mean the quest of the raid shotgun, the quest of Arceus,
Arceus.
Yeah. Have you tried that? Have you tried that 300 strike?
I
haven't because none of my friends will do it with me after they did it themselves.
Yeah. That should tell you something.
It's Thorn Quest 2.0?
Oh,
yeah.
It's even worse, man.
I was like, hey, you guys want to run the strikes with me so I can get my shotgun? Nope. We already did it. We're never doing that again. You gotta go get some randoms. I'm like, what?
It's Thorn Quest 2.0. Oh my god, that's great. I love that. Oh,
Des,
I was one of those idiots that actually ran Thorn Quest and D1 Vanilla like 10 times to help people.
Yeah.
I was one of those idiots.
You gotta wait for the wizard.
Exactly.
Wizard. Don't vote yet.
Like, I had it down to a science, though. Me and one of my friends, like, we had it down to a science. We were Sherpas before the term Sherpa existed.
Nice.
Because it was me and him that in the end, like, our last, like, 6 runs were, like, me and him and blank person that wanted a thorn. And we're like, yeah, we can do it now. And like I said, this was before, like, Dark Below, essentially. So, I mean, it was rough because...
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Rough back then.
Because that was a hard strike. I mean, it never, like, raised in difficulty. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that remember it's like, oh, Thorn Quest wasn't that bad. We did that in, like, House of Wolves. I ran it in vanilla, where you were lucky to be, like, at level for it. And that crap.
Whenever anybody says that, I want to be like, think about what you just said. Think about that. It's not that bad. Really, it's not that bad. Think about that. Yes,
It's not that bad. We just ran it last week.
And that's what I loved about that quest too. And that was like, and that's one bright thing from that Destiny Vanilla era, where like I really liked, because if you were playing before even right when Dark Below came out, even if you were going against someone in Crucible and they were using Thorn, yeah, it was annoying because Thorn was godly OP, but at the same time, you knew they worked hard to get that. Getting those void kills in PvP was not easy in year one. And doing that strike at the end was not easy. It's like you knew they earned it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you were doing it like at vanilla, the only like void primary you had was Atheon's Epilogue.
And that gun was trash.
It was awful. The stability on that, because it's like I said before, there were no good bullet hoses in D1 until
Doctrine of
the Doctrine of Passing.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first good one.
I deleted my first Thorn quest because my very first character was a Titan. I wanted to be Warlock because I knew I was a Warlock from the beginning. But I had worked on launch day for Destiny 1, and my brother picked his Hunter, and then my other buddy had already picked his Warlock. And so when I got on afterwards, I was like, all right, let's go. They're like, all right, we just need a Titan. Let's get one of each. I was like, no, I'm going to be a Warlock. They're like, no, I'm a Warlock. You get a Titan. So I'm like, all right, fine. I picked the Titan. And so for that quest, I was doing that quest, and if you're a Defender Titan trying to get void kills, that's not going too well. And so I was just like, screw this. I'm quitting this. And then I got the quest again when I had my Void Walker, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much better. I can actually get void kills.
Yeah, because... Yeah.
Yeah, doing that as a Defender Titan was rough for me. It was like, nope, this is tough.
I was a Hunter. Screw you both.
Nope. Yeah, my brother was a Hunter.
We wouldn't get a Void subclass until Taken King. Screw you guys. But oh my god, yeah, it was. And that's the thing, because I've said it on the show before. It's like legitimately compare Destiny 2 Vanilla to D1 Vanilla. Legitimately, I think there's more to do in D2 Vanilla.
Oh, I would 110% agree.
I mean, it's close. It's legitimately close because there are certain things like I also miss like the heroic strikes, like those weeklies. I do miss those. Like any incentive to play a strike, really, I kind of miss because strikes.
Yeah, those are definitely lacking. Which
they're not bad. They're good strikes. It's just.
Yep. Well, I think that's why it's in the top. Better rewards and replay value for strikes, adventures, and lost sectors. Like there's no point to do them.
No, really. I mean,
you do public events until you're 285, and then you do Crucible and Raid and Trials.
Exactly. I mean, and that's the thing. But I mean, it's sad because I do like the strikes. They're not bad. The bosses don't feel too tough. Like in the beta, I did feel this inverted.
Yeah, he was a little tanky.
He was a little tanky. They fixed that. No problem. It's like cool. And there are now a couple tankier bosses, but their mechanics kind of make up for it to a degree. But either way, I love the strikes, but I do hate to agree with some of these naysayers, but the incentives to play these strikes just aren't there.
No, I agree. I think that's the one thing. It's like, and I think people are kind of they're miscommunicating the issue. It's like Destiny 2 has so much more to do than Destiny 1 Vanilla did. In Destiny 1 Vanilla, like buddy of mine, Captain Cax, just posted, he's like, just in case you forgot, it was like a screenshot with the Dark Below expansion stuff, and it's like the only way to progress your level in Destiny 1 Vanilla was dogs are fighting outside, so if you hear banging, that's that. But the only way to progress your level was Nightfall and Raid.
Yeah,
that was it. You got your one Nightfall a week and your one Raid a week per character. That's the only way you could advance your level.
Yeah, if you wanted to be max level, you had to Raid. There's no question about it.
And 8 times out of 10, if you do a Nightfall, you're getting 12 Ascendant Shards or radiant shards as your reward, and but
That's what I loved about like the end of like the year 3. Oh my god, Nightfalls just don't drop anything anymore. It's like anymore. Oh my god.
yeah. Oh, I loved it. And it was year 3, and people were getting pissed at Xur for selling the same gun. It's like, really?
And in Destiny 1,
Really?
you got stuck with like you needed a helmet.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Forever
you
29.
or you needed like or you would double tap the same. I mean, I think I made 6 characters in Destiny 1 because I wanted to be like, okay, my hunter or my titan, boom, I got him, he's ready, move on. And then just, re-roll characters, and you would just roll characters 3-4 times just to get enough gear to make yourself the max light. And then the next expansion would come out, and then you were just like, well, time to do it again, I guess.
Yeah,
so when
I said last week, that's where I was glad to be a hunter, because the hunter exotic helmets were pretty much the best thing anyway, and that's what I was missing to hit 30. So I was actually able to hit 30, like with the heroic vault of glass, and so I was able to be. But that was just all luck, because again, hunter, and the best exotics to use were either Mask of the Third Man or the Knucklehead Radar.
Nice.
Or the
Yeah,
active symbiote.
I had my Titan, and I created my Warlock before Dark Below, but I mainly did it just to have extra vault space. But then it was Dark Below. I was stuck on 29. It was like 3 weeks. I could not get past level 29, and so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna play my Warlock because apparently it's impossible to get level 30, and I was level 30 in my Warlock before I was level 30 on my Titan.
Oh,
And I was like, well, all right. I was like, it's destiny. I'm a Warlock.
I'm a warlock. It's Destiny. Get it?
Oh.
you're a wizard, Harry. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
That was what I was going to say.
I know, right?
We always have a question now. We brought this up a couple episodes ago when we have guests. We have a Destiny 2 guest question that we will be asking, and the question is, with the last Iron Banner, how we had Distant Shores, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, this question.
What map from Destiny 1 would you like to see come forward?
Ooh, what map from Destiny 1? I gotta say, man, I'm trying to think with the playstyle in Destiny 2 now, what would be the best one? One of my favorite maps was Anomaly, but I feel like that would be a horrible map in D2 because of the way the team shooting is and how close and cramped everything would feel with the movement. I'd like Widow's Court would be a good one.
That would be
I think
good.
that'd be fun.
Considering we're based in the EDZ anyway.
Yeah.
We don't really have an EDZ map, do we?
There's the one with like it's got a Cabal base on B.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of that one. But
I just think it's hilarious. So like now that we actually have the Dead Zone as an explorable patrol area, we now have like no PvP maps of it.
right. Shaxx got lazy. No, I love that idea though. I hope they release more Destiny 1 maps revamped like that. Like that was one of my favorite things for Halo. I loved getting all the like Hang 'em High and all the different versions of it, Lockout. So I hope they continue that trend.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Burning Shrine, it's always a good one.
A lot of developers do it, They do it in COD all the time. I mean, you just mentioned Halo. They do it all the time. They did it all the time in Halo, right? So
Yep.
I was surprised that when they were like, "Oh, it's Distant Shores," no one got. I'm sure someone got salty. I'm sure the salt flew.
Oh yeah,
someone.
people did.
Oh, for sure.
But it just like I was happy with it. Like it felt good. The flow was right. It had all the right feeling that you could remember from Destiny. Like, oh, this is exactly what they should do. This is it. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they brought back. I mean, I'm not saying every special event or every expansion bring one back. That's Because someone would, after a while, be like, "They're not doing anything. They're just repurposing their old content. They're being lazy. Bungie's being lazy."
Oh, you mean like half of the arguments from D1?
Oops. Yeah, exactly.
All you're doing is taking these map assets and like mirroring them and having us go through them in reverse. Bungie, oh my god.
Fix it, Bungie. Fix it. That was what got me.
Fix your game, Bungie.
Fix your game, Bungo.
I'm just a nerd that sits here and plays your game for like 12 hours a day with zero game develop experience, but I know more about your game than you do. That's what gets me.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's like, I think the key thing with releasing those maps is free. You know, if it's free, give me everything you want. I'll take it.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. You know, if you're going to charge me $15 to get all these old maps, then that's going to be like, But hey, give me free maps all day long. Exactly. I'll take it.
Like, give me the content. I mean, I'll consume it.
And I mean that map's in the rotation now, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
I love it, and it's one of those things. It's like it plays better now than it did in Destiny 1. Mm-hmm. I love it.
I do think it's hilarious, though. There is apparently a ledge that you can climb onto, like looking over B.
Oh, yeah.
My first time playing that map, there was somebody there, but for some reason, I'm wondering if there was like an issue with that same general area in D1 with that map, because I was already instinctively looking there, and there was.
Is it the one like across from B?
Yeah, it's like over the gulch. It's like closer to like A. It's like between A and B, basically.
Yeah, like on one of those like little Vex Tower type things, basically. Or...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's just a ledge you can apparently just like kind of mantle up onto, and
yeah, it's probably easier to get onto now because they have the vaulting mantling in there.
But like I said, it's like at first I didn't think. I just kind of like I was getting hit, and then I looked in that direction. It's like, I got killed by Mida. Fair enough. But I was able to kill him. Like, poor blueberries were getting murdered by this dude. But but I was just pecked through. I was like, okay, let me switch to a scout rifle, and yep, now you're gone. And he never tried it again. So I mean, he was at least smart about it. But it's like I said, something told me like, oh, that's a thing, and it's like, oh wow. But otherwise, it's like because the map, like it does play better, but at the same time, it plays like so much the same still. Except you don't have like a sniper like at the other end of C tunnel.
Oh yeah,
like just glaring at you,
hard scoping down on the boats.
Exactly, because that area is like significantly shorter, which I love. I mean, I love what I did. I do love what they did with it, but at the same time, it comes down to the fact that they only have to worry about one map size now.
Yeah,
because there is no variable Crucible team play anymore. It's 4v4. That's it. They don't need to have big maps for these, which I wouldn't mind like a couple, like a 6v6 game mode with vehicles. Like, basically the what was it called? Combined Arms?
Combined Arms.
Yeah.
If that could come back in 6v6, I don't think I would mind horribly, because it's not normal. So, I don't think I would mind, but at the same time, watch me get very tired of it very quickly. So, don't quote me entirely. But, which doesn't matter. One thing I do want... What's so special about Iron Banner now, though? Is one thing I have to ask. It's not power-enabled. It's not... It's just...
Yeah, that's my big gripe with it. I had a ton of fun playing it. I loved it. I loved the grind for getting stuff. I liked that it wasn't... Like, I like the change that they're making where that you can buy it from the vendor. Hopefully it's kind of rank locked out. Once you reach this rank or once you turn in so many packages, you can do this, something like that, because that makes you want to play more. But otherwise, that was one of the things I mentioned before. Like, people were mad that it was on one hand they were mad that there was no grind, but then they were mad that they weren't able to get all the armor. It's like, well, do you want the grind or do you want everything handed to you? Like, which one? It's like, I liked that I still have things I want to acquire for the next Iron Banner. because I think that's important, and people forget about that. It's like there's going to be another one. They want you to play for the next one too.
Yeah.
There's going to be several. Just get ready for it.
Definitely the lack of power level. Well, I kind of understand why they did it, because I don't think that's perfectly fine. They play when they want to play, but in Destiny 1, they were encouraged to play more because they're like, hey, Iron Banner's coming up. I love Iron Banner. I'm 265. I can't play Iron Banner 265. So here, when are you guys doing a raid? When are you doing Nightfalls? I'll play with you guys. I'll do this. Now they don't have to. They're like, oh, I'll wait till Iron Banner comes out, and then I'll play some Control or whatever it is, and then I'll stop playing because power level means nothing. It's like by making it casual, they kind of killed the casual game in a way.
I mean, I can't agree with that, and like I said, I can see where they're from, like you, in like not implementing that, because it does become futile regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, but without that, there's nothing special to Iron Banner except for the type of gear that you can like get your hands on. And I mean, sure, you can actually just play Control, which that's nice. Just not
I think that was most people's the biggest reason why they loved Iron Banner was like we could play Control every single time. We didn't have to worry about supremacy.
It's just very controlled. Get it? It's very controlled. I'm sorry.
The laugh is what got me too.
But no, I mean, that's why I was hoping, like, I know they said, all game modes 4v4, but it's like, it'd be really cool if Iron Banner came back and it was 6s. It'd be, like, really cool. And it still would have, but I can understand. It's like, fine.
That was 6s just for that one event. That would make the Iron Banner different, Make it special.
Yeah, it would make it very different. I mean, sure, it'd be chaotic and everything, but why not? It's like a once-a-month event. Like, if you're really going to complain that Iron Banner is 6s, what's wrong with you?
Yes, Des. Someone will complain.
I know! There's so many people that complained about Mayhem, and let me tell you what, Mayhem was hilariously fun. Yes, it got old after a while, but it was still fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would like to see some sort of event, whether it's Iron Banner or maybe they do a special event for factions where it's 6s, because a lot of times we'll do a raid and we'll have our raid group and we'll finish the raid. We'll be like, all right, let's go play some PvP. All right, which two of you are we going to kick out? And that's never fun.
Yes, that is a tough sell. That does kind of like, I mean, in a way, you could say like, okay, it does counteract what Bungie was originally saying with, Destiny is now a team game, all about your clan, all about your friends, get everybody together and have fun. And you're like, yeah, well, I could totally have fun, but if I'm doing a raid and then it's like, okay, the raid's over, what are we going to do now? Well, 2 people are going to go be mad by themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, but also legitimately, like, you always have those, like, because, I mean, at least in my groups, like, it was never 100% of the people that were okay with PvP anyway.
Yeah. True.
And there's probably at least those 2, maybe 3 people in the group that are only playing PvP because it's like, oh, well, they're playing PvP, so I might as well. Now, like, unless you're part of a group of 6 that love to raid and PvP, then good for you. And, this really does suck for you. But, I mean, like I said, most of my groups, like, there are those people that don't really care about PvP, and now they're not forced into a social situation that they're not even comfortable with and may continue not to play PvP. It's like they can actually give PvP a try when they want to.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, it's like the entire, like, theme, it seems, of Destiny. Do this stuff when you want to. Not because we're forcing you to, not because you feel you have to, but do these things because you actually want to.
Do what you want to do, when you want to do it, if you want to do it. Destiny
and I think that's probably a lot of the problems with these, veteran players is the fact that as veteran players, we're already used to being forced into things, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you wanted to hit max level in vanilla, you had to raid until Iron Banner became an in-game activity, which was around the time I think when Trials came out, because it was an in-game PvP activity. So it's like, well, Iron Banner can be in-game too, and not quite as serious as Trials.
Yeah.
So I mean, there was that, and then plus everything like in House of Wolves could get you to max freaking level.
Yeah. Even in the grinding part, like you had to farm materials and glimmer. And that was something you just, if you wanted to use your weapon and unlock the perks, you needed to get materials. And if you wanted materials, you had to find a route on each planet and do circles and farm those materials until I think with House of Wolves or Taken King, which I don't remember which one where they made it where you could actually buy them. Yeah, Taken King. And
that was one of the huge quality of life changes it came with. Because it's like, oh!
Then of course you're 2 months into Taken King and everyone's like, I kind of miss farming materials.
And thank you for like bringing this up, because this reminds me of like one of the most absurd things I've heard. It's like, I miss having to level up weapons because it gave me something to look forward to. It's like, excuse me?
It's like, no.
Do you not remember how long it took to level up an exotic?
Yeah.
Jesus. Remember
my gosh.
Remember burning most of the lights? You didn't have to do it?
No, in vanilla there was none of that.
I remember. Yeah, I recall that.
That was House of Wolves, I think, that started that. Mm-hmm. But these people don't remember you had no choice,
or especially
through not only the perks on the gun, but you remember the upgrade damage nodes that you had to go through to get it to its fullest potential. Mm-hmm. And then when they introduced exotic shards,
with the raid weapons, remember that?
And the raid weapons, you had to have the specific materials. You couldn't couldn't get a raid weapon and then just go play patrol. You had to get a raid weapon and then go do some more raids so you could get materials to upgrade it.
And like somebody did the math and it was like statistically unfeasible to actually get all the weapons and all the armor and have it fully upgraded like within a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, If you only had one character, it was impossible for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just like, and this is what you miss. Like again, going back to earlier, I don't think you know what you're saying in this situation, because I used to hate leveling up weapons. I was one of those people. I kept at least 100 motes of light, to be able to be on hand, because it took 25 motes of light to burn into a primary to get it up and going. Because if I got a weapon, like after they introduced using motes to level up a weapon, that was the happiest day for me, because that means when I got a weapon to drop, I was immediately burning motes into it to level it up. Immediately. First thing I did. If I didn't know how it worked, burning motes, and I'm taking the first spin. And it's like, because that's, as a lot of people know, I'm a numbers guy. I'm one of those spread cheaters. I look into numbers, I look into things, I look into stats. I've always been that way. Just because I haven't always had a spreadsheet doesn't mean I haven't always wanted to see what a gun does at the end of the journey. It's like, I don't care what it does when it's naked. I just want to know what this thing does.
That's an interesting phrase you just used. I never thought of a gun that's being considered naked, but I mean, I understand what you were saying. Instantly, as soon as you said it, I was like, I get it.
Yeah, that comes from I think I picked up that term from Mega Man X speedruns, because if you do a speedrun with no armor, it's a naked X run.
Okay.
So I think that's where I probably picked that up from, was because I used to be pretty heavily into speedruns. Like when I first got into Twitch, that was the first thing I started watching, because these people were breaking the games I grew up with and doing them in 20 minutes. I'm just sitting here going, really? I spent an entire summer trying to beat Mega Man 2.
Yeah.
And you're just doing it in 20 minutes. You know what? Screw you.
It makes you feel terrible about yourself. Like, did you just finish Final Fantasy VII in 13 minutes? It's a 2-disc set. What the fuck, man?
That's why I feel when I watch like Slayer Ridge and his team, they'll 2-man Callus, and our
know, right?
6-man team takes 4 hours to beat him. I'm just like, are you kidding me?
So, quick question, guys. This is something I was thinking of earlier. Des, you can attest to this. Working in a warehouse, you kind of think about things and just kind of write them in your head. What is a weapon that you use that would be considered off meta, or do you have a blue weapon that you keep in your inventory?
Don't do it. Don't stop. Don't even suggest this to people. Do not do this. Don't. I know it's a popular thing in Destiny 2 to pull out the blues, to pull out the greens, because everything is possible. Don't do it. Open up the Bird Rock. I just added every blue, every green, every white in the game. Every weapon in Destiny 2 is now in my spreadsheet, regardless of rarity. I just finished this last night. And, but yes, every blue, every rarity of every weapon is in the spreadsheet. And one thing I'm noticing is Bungie has taken kind of an RPG and an MMO route to weapon stats right now, because the lower rarity you get, the more the stats suck. Mm-hmm. It's like they suck. The numbers on these blues and whites. Yeah, why not use a legendary and actually get better function out of your weapon?
There's a lot of things where it's just like I'll see things on Twitter and it's like that really, because like these people have been playing Destiny for 3 years now, and they'll post a screenshot of this blue SMG that has the same base stats, looks exactly the same as the NTOD. And it's like, yeah, but there's those hidden stats that don't just show up. And if you look at those, they're significantly worse than the NTOD.
And that's not even the thing.
Significantly worse.
Because hilariously, unless it's the Sandok, but I keep hearing the Phillips, guess what? The Phillips does not have the same base stats as Antiope. It actually has worse stats than Antiope. I'm trying to figure out where these people got their numbers from, because if they're getting them from a more accurate source, I legitimately want to know.
Right.
But I mean,
it's like,
I'm looking at these blues and greens because, I hear these things, I mean, the popularity of people going into Crucible or doing trials with blues and greens. It's like, well, maybe there's a thing to this. So it's like my first day off, I went back into the Tracker Network database because it's the only database I know that is current with Destiny 2. Planet Destiny needs to get on their things about that. Come on, guys.
Come on.
But because I used to cross-reference between Tracker and Planet Destiny, but I can't do that because there's only one source right now, so that I know of. And
GG Destiny Tracker. GG.
Yeah, I am awful with like coding and crap, so I'm not going to take a look into the API myself. That's no. But
that's your job.
Yeah, that's somebody else's job in the community. But yeah, I mean, it's just, and I start going through because I have it, like my spreadsheet is automatically set up to have a color gradient, and if the stat is really good, it's going to show up in blue. If the stat is really bad, it's going to show up in red. And I start putting in, typing in these numbers. It's like red, blue. Oh, that's ammo count. Red. It's like that's the only thing that like stays roughly the same as ammo counts. I mean, there are a couple weapons that have comparable aim assist or better aim assist than some, but that's it. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're very... don't do that to yourself. I mean, if you're a PvP god that's still doing well in Destiny 2, that's a challenge for sure. Put on a set of blues and challenge yourself if you want. But if you're just the everyman, don't follow in these people's footsteps. If it's off meta, it's not a blue. Let me tell you that right now. Yeah. If it's off meta, it's still legendary, because this old tradition of... Because, I mean, it used to be a thing in D1. The Stranger's Rifle. That was as good as any legendary, let me tell you what. And that was that was a blue, like
Yeah.
originally, but it was like one of the best pulse rolls in the game.
Yeah, which let's go back to that. Going back to Destiny 1. Remember when you completed the story and you got this awesome reward and it was a blue legend rare that you out-leveled in the next 2 days?
Yeah. And then people complain about all these
Yeah.
blues that they get
Right.
dropping. But yet, when you finish this story mode, you get a unique legendary sword to your class,
Yeah.
which they're all fun.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not all of them can be as fun as Quick Fang, but they're all fun.
No, Quick Fang is way more fun.
Yeah. I'm excited to get to the Titan one though, because that one I've seen it staggers some people pretty nicely.
Oh yeah, it's. I love the way I kind of think it sucks for Warlock because they just get a normal sword,
Right.
but like I think the Titan and the Hunter swords fit like the mentality very well because Hunters are the craftier basically. It's hard to like put it in like other shooter terms, but they would be like either like the damage dealers or like the flankers or the defensive or offensive, depending upon what you're playing. But they're the ones they're the crafty ones. They can set up choke points. They sometimes can bust in and bust some heads. Titans are your like tanky frontliner type deals. They're getting in there, and Warlocks now more than ever are support, like for sure.
Oh, with their arc buddies, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, the Rift in general
Yeah.
allows them to play a support role that they could. I feel that they can really only dream of doing in D1. Mm-hmm. And that was if you're using a Song of Flame on your Sunsinger.
Yeah.
Like that's the closest thing to support you can kind of get in D1 as a Warlock. And most people were running self-res anyway.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
After they found out exactly how good self-res was, it's like it became the only thing to use on a Sunsinger.
Yeah,
It's like most
especially
people-
in game, the hard
Oh, yeah.
raid, like it just made sense. Like if one death could ruin the entire run, if you have the chance to take that death away, of course you're going to take it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and yeah, it was the smart choice. I mean, I'm not denying that, but at the same time, it's like it was hilarious to go into like PvP and remind people how good was it Flame Skin or Radiant Skin?
Great.
To show them how good Radiant Skin was, because that made a Sunsinger a freaking slayer, man. You threw a shotgun on, you popped your super, especially if you had the ram on. You were practically unkillable, getting in people's faces like you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, la di da da da, you're dead. It's great, but yeah, but their sword. I almost forgot what I was talking about. I'm sorry. It's the Hunters have like the ninja-esque sword, which I really hope they get more ninja-esque Iron Banner armor to really match the sword a little better. But and then like you get the Titans, which it's like you can see them like kind of exert themselves with each and every swing they take, and it is fantastic. It is fantastic. I love it. Not the one I'm going to be using in PvP, that's for sure, but it's still fantastic.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
You're talking about the different elements for each characters and things like that. I definitely feel like they went a little more like the RPG route, like making each character stand out, but not
Yeah, for sure.
and not really. I don't even think really enough to really matter yet. But I do like the fact that they're kind of thinking about going that direction.
Yeah.
Would you like to see them take that farther? A lot of it, I think, a lot of the comments I've seen on it are specifically regarding Hunters and how pointless their perk base is, with mobility. Like, would you rather, like, for me, I'd like them to take that, go completely that direction, but of course make mobility more effective, where maybe it makes you run faster, do these other things too, and where Hunter could just be this speed demon, but at a significant cost to armor and whereas
Yeah.
a Titan could be this complete tank, but at a significant, loss to mobility, whereas a Hunter could kind of be, not really be super fast or super strong, but kind of have that in the middle ground where they can recover their health a lot more.
Yeah.
Be more of that team thing. I'd love them to see more of the RPG element in that. It's more in play. But what do you think?
I have always been a proponent, like more elements that they add to things like of that sort of thing. It's like I would be more than happy, because the hilarious thing is, like, even though the armor is set like this certain way, this isn't the first time they've had these separations though.
No.
Because I mean, I'm just glad like now I can actually get a decent like resilience score on a Hunter, because in D1 if you were playing Hunter, you were squishy. Like,
Yep, there's
that's just how it was.
Super squishy.
But I would actually really love to. I mean, I would love to see mobility matter a little more. Like you said, I mean, I would love to see that, and I mean, because I am all kinds of cool with that separation of attributes, and I would love to see more of it. Because, like I said, it would just help with the overall sensation of what they're trying to build for your characters. I feel.
Yeah, because I mean, does anybody have a max mobility build? Let's just be honest.
no.
I
don't.
That's the thing,
I
because-
can't think of one.
Yeah,
I don't know
'cause-
you would,
yeah.
unless there's a spot on some map that you can only glitch out of if you're max 10 or something.
Yeah, even if you were in the raid running the gauntlet, I don't need to put on. I don't put on the max.
Mm-hmm.
Max
Oh.
mobility. I just go.
I don't need to, but I still do.
Yeah, I think my warlock on the raid last night was running 0 mobility, and then 7-8 for the other two, because it's not really a stat that you need.
No, it's not necessary, but at the same time, it actually does more now than what it used to in D1.
Yes.
It's actually a more noticeable difference, because there was a point in time where, when I was running the gauntlet, like I said, I would actually switch to my Crucible gear because it was a more mobility focus. Because I was just curious, and our other runner was a Titan, so it's probably a 0 mobility, but I didn't like pay attention to what he was wearing or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it got to, like, we would start at the same time, and we would have a slight issue with overlapping callouts to a degree. But as it went on, it's like by the time I was crossing like the last gate, he was still on the third gate. I mean, because
Yeah.
it's a noticeable run difference, but even like it didn't really matter. It just gave me a little more flexibility, just in case I bumped my head against something, that I could definitely make it to like another gate, just in case something happened.
Yeah, no, yeah, and you're right. That's one spot where I definitely notice it, because you do jump a lot, and so
Yeah.
knowing that it has a correlation to your jump height and speed, like you notice that a lot more in the gauntlet if you're running.
Oh yeah. And that would be the only time because I mean, it's like I said, it's not necessary. It's just nice, because as soon as you get used to it, like, you're gonna speed through no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, I just put on Doom Marchers, really, and that's all I really need. But I mean, I guess that does kind of boost your mobility, right? By definition of the intrinsic perk.
Pretty much.
But it's not like I change my stats at all. All I do is go, okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take these boots off and put these boots on, and la-di-da, here we go.
Yeah. So I mean, but I mean, this was also again like an issue in D1 was why spec into, like, this is why hunters sort of were looked down on, because hunters, like, in their intrinsic perks that you could not change, focused purely, like, or for the most part, on mobility. You can get some pretty decent recovery, but you weren't getting armor. like at all. It's like I think a max hunter's armor was like 6 or 5, which a Titan could get like practically focusing on mobility.
I think they could get 10 armor, but because mobility didn't do anything D1, they were still the fastest character in the game.
Yeah, and it's but yes, I mean the whole thing's like, oh, now recover. It's like, yeah, like it kind of used to be armor, then became recovery. I mean, recovery is just still the better stat to invest in.
Yeah.
Which
Recovery. And it was really apparent with we were doing the prestige raid last week, and we were on Gauntlet, and my brother was a hunter, and like his side just kept getting overwhelmed because like he'd get damage and he'd have to take cover, and he'd have to take cover for 7 seconds before he'd start getting his health back. And he's like, I don't have recovery. I was just like, yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I do like having, armor or resilience as a hunter, but at the same time, if you're wearing nothing but resilience gear, yeah, you have 0 recovery.
Yeah.
Because resilience gear focuses in... Oh, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, resilience gear focuses in either resilience or mobility.
Yep.
They might be able to get 2, I think, resilience out of it.
Bigger penalty for like what you spec as a hunter. Like if I'm a warlock, if I spec resilience, I still have recovery. If I spec recovery, I still have resilience. Even if I put on my mobility stuff, I still have one of the other 2. And whereas hunter, if like your mobility, and then you have to choose: do you want resilience or do you want recovery?
I mean, it's that. Like,
it's the age-old debate, right?
Yeah. And I think it's just in that middle ground right now that makes it kind of. It's like I think if they committed completely all the way, like, we're making it where hunters are speed demon class, and if you if you want to run around like a ninja, you're a hunter. That's your class. You're going to die more often because your armor is gone, and it might take a little longer to get your health back. But hey, you're a ninja. You can run super fast, and you're nimbly and quick, and no one can catch you. They can't chase you down. You're a hunter.
Actually,
they commit to it. I think it's great.
Yeah, legitimately. Also, I can actually see like its usefulness in this type of, because it's more of a team shot meta. But at the same time, if you have a class or whatever that focuses in speed, you have a scout, you have a flanker, you have this things like a hunter could poke in, like, poke at the hornet's nest, run away, back to your team, and then you have advantage then because But yeah, I mean that would be great. Like, I would not mind, like I said, like going into these. But at the same time, it probably will start like a whole nother thing because there's always like a dark side to things, though.
Yeah, for sure. Always. But I could definitely see it potentially going that route, especially now that they're kind of connected to the Blizzard world a little bit. Because like I played Overwatch, I didn't play too much of it, but like I loved the characters in Overwatch and how you could choose the way you wanted to play specifically. What I didn't like about Overwatch was that it didn't handle and feel and shoot like Destiny. I love the way Destiny handles, shoots, and feels. And like you give me, even a fraction of that character uniqueness where, hey, I want to run really super fast. I'm going to play Hunter today. Oh, I want to be a tank and support my team in that route. I'll be a Titan. Oh, I want to be the support class and help my teams in other ways. I'll be Warlock. Like, if you really give me that choice, like, it would be with the Destiny feel, the way Destiny shoots, which is unmatched in any game, in my opinion. Like, that's amazing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it would be like an incredible thing. Because, like I said, the foundation of these archetypical, separations in what do they call them now? Hero shooters?
Yeah.
It's like, even though it should be team shooter, thanks to Team Fortress 2, but, since Overwatch came out, all of a sudden it's a hero shooter. Whatever. But no, it's like, I would love to see that because there's already these faint outlines. In D1, they were there. It's like hunters could move faster, like slightly if you maxed mobility. Hunters could run slightly faster, and it's a little better now. But I would be all down to see, especially. Oh my god, could you imagine if you could get basically Quick Fang running speed without Quick Fang and then equip Quick Fang?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, the first time I put on the Quick Fang, I saw the way you hold it, and I was just like, yeah, this feels right.
For sure.
And when you put the crown splitter on, just the way they do it. And then the poor warlock, you're just, it looks like a warlock sword. It looks cool.
It's shiny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shiny.
But at the same time, it's got a really good guard, though.
Yeah.
If you use its initial, its efficiency, basically, if you don't get hit by anything with that sword, I think you can because I never even, actually, I haven't played around with it much, but I think you might almost be able to indefinitely hold up that guard, because I haven't seen it consume ammo if you don't get hit.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to try that.
But, I haven't tested it thoroughly.
Yeah, I haven't played around with the guard too much of swords. I didn't D1 yet, but
yeah, if that's the case, then I mean that it could explain why it's a normal sword, basically, because again, if they're using warlocks to fill this support role, giving them the rift, I still think is the best thing they could have done for warlocks, for Destiny 2. It's they were kind of that supporty type role because of self-res, let me just, pop back up and, help do this thing now. But now it's I love the fact that they gave warlocks something that could actively help your group out now.
Yeah.
It's now warlocks are part of the equation when it comes to because, I mean, in D1 it used to be, okay, we have 3 titans, you pop your first bubble here, and try and make sure it's really close to this edge or whatever. That used to be the discussions for activities. It's where to pop the bubble. But now it's okay, we need your rift here. We have a titan, so we can use this. We can use rally barricade, and I mean it just sucks because Hunter's abilities just doesn't really help anybody.
Yeah.
Because
in Destiny, in D1 Vault of Glass, it was all right. We got our 2 Titan bubbles, and you 4 self-res warlocks. Just do your thing.
Just hang tight. Do your thing.
Yep. If you die, self-res. Perfect.
yeah, that was.
Oh, we got a hunter who wants to join. Nope.
Nope.
Get him out.
I was the hunter, but
I used to have to convince teams in Vault of Glass, when we pug it, to let my brother join the group because he was a hunter. And they're no, hunters suck. I was no, he's good. Trust me. Look, he's a hunter. It's okay. He's good. He'll be good. And his thing was he could go invis and he could solo one of the Venus or Mars, whatever side, because he would just go invis, kill the guy real fast, and run out with the relic. And that was his specialty.
Because I don't remember why.
And he didn't have Gallahorn either, so he was a hunter with no Gallahorn. He had a tough luck on the LFG.
Yeah, he had a tough time, but yeah, because I've been a hunter main since beta, D1 beta. I've been a hunter main, and that hasn't changed for D2. But Vault of Glass, it became rough because it's okay, we got Titans. All right, okay, you leveled up your defender, perfect. All right, you pop here. Okay, we got 2 world. Okay, guys, just chill out, and then it's hi, I'm a hunter. I'm gonna murder things. But then it got to where, when you could actually, quote unquote, choose who could teleport through on Atheon. I was part of that group because it was such an easy time because you usually fade symbiote.
Yep.
And 4 oracles when you teleport in were gone, just gone.
Just boom, 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 boom.
And that's half. That's over half of the freaking thing. So it's we actually had it to where the 2 people with me would handle the ads in the middle, and as soon as it was stars pop, done, 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 done. Now everybody focus fire on the rest of them. It was just such an easy encounter then.
Yeah.
And then Bungie's oh, random, lol. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they seem to do that though. they see what the I don't want to say meta way of handling raids are, and then they're like, no, well, this is going to change. I mean, you could just see with the prestige raid this time around. They're like, oh, everybody's used to having the call outs for Callus. Well, different ones show up now.
Yeah, I do like that they're making it where instead of just changing the base of the raid, they change it in either challenges or like hard mode, and not just the whole itself. Concept of the raid. Yeah.
Agreed.
I do like that part of it.
I mean,
and that's the thing, because like going back to like the entire thoughts, like it still amazes me that people can sit back and it's like, oh, this game is just awful. There's nothing to do in this, and it's like, I really want to sit down with these people and go, have you used every single weapon in this game?
Yeah,
like every last one. Have you tried every option? Have you done every little thing? I mean, have you really? Really?
Yeah. Because I do get there. A lot of the counter to that would be like, yeah, but what's my reason to do that? Or what's my reason to do that? Like, I can't understand that. But
it's worth the experience.
It is worth the experience.
Because trust me, like, you think kids back in the 90s, whenever they beat the freaking Turbo Tunnel and Battletoads for the Game Boy, you think we got rewarded for that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and I was listening to the Destiny Reset last night, and they were kind of touching on that, and it's like yeah, you want to get back to that Super Mario day where you played Super Mario because it was Super Mario. You didn't care what you got out of it. It's like, but at the same time, like, Bungie's kind of programmed us to, like, it's fun and loot, and right now it's fun, but we're lacking.
But the hilarious thing is, like, Bungie has programmed us purely because they feel awful for Loot Cave.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of the thing. I can't remember who said it, but it was like part of an article. It was just before release, and they're like, Loot Cave really like impacted the development team because there's these, your player base is choosing, instead of playing this game that you've laid out for them, they're choosing for hours on end to shoot into a cave.
Yeah.
And this rocket and pull the trigger, then once every couple minutes, run down, grab some shit, run back. Yeah, that's a black eye, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's an insult to development because, like I said, you've spent years crafting this game, and it's more rewarding to shoot at a hole in the wall.
Yeah, and at the same, I kind of feel like I'm kind of shocked that Destiny 2 is the way it is because of that. Because at the same time, you have these lost sectors, those adventures, these strikes that no one are playing because they can just do a public event and get more out of their time, more rewards. And so it's like, I'm kind of like, well, why? You think they would have taken kind of that same feeling with the Loot Cave, and like players will do what is the fastest, easiest method to get to the end.
For sure.
But I mean, they're recognizing that, and so they're moving forward.
Oh yeah, they have, and they tried a new system. I mean, you can see here that they've tried a new system. It's just the fact that rewards were a little lacking. It's definitely not as drastic as Loot Cave. Like,
no,
for sure.
No. And I think Luke says it all the time. He's like, doesn't matter what they make, what they change, what they update, they will always they will never fully understand how the community is going to grasp something. There'll always be a way that the community takes what they made, turns it upside down, breaks it. That's just what the community does.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like the sad part of attracting so many speedrunners and such, because those are the types of players you get. There's the people that want to break things.
Mm-hmm. And on one hand, it's good because it helps them find, like, there's two sides of it, because there's the people who do it to help improve. They're like, hey, I'm going to break this game so I can write a post on BNet and send it to the developers and have them fix it. And then there's the people that I'm going to break this game so I can show people how shit Bungie is. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to use this emote and go through.
I'm going to post it
so
on
I can
Twitter
win
and get
trials.
100 retweets so everyone can see how cool I am.
Oh, Reddit's going to
win
explode
trials.
with this one, guys.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh yeah, and I can glitch through the wall in trials, and yeah, this will get me a thing, and I'm gonna post it, and then I'm gonna take trials away from everyone for like 3 weeks because I'm a douchebag.
I know. That's such a fine line for Bungie too. Like I never envy them when they make those decisions because like
I know.
on one hand it does suck because like an emote that will probably be or a glitch that will probably be used in 1% of matches is causing it to be canceled for 2 weeks for me.
Yeah.
At the same time, if you're that 1%, if you're on game 6 and this other team is glitching into the walls, that's going to really suck.
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
going to ruin your experience completely. So it's like, it's one of those things they had to do it, but that sucks.
It does, but I am glad that they did take such a drastic thing. Like they recognized the fact it's like this is a long fix.
Yeah.
And legitimately, I actually did get like, I got a little angry because there was a Twitter post on it, like showcasing it or whatever, and it's like I wouldn't have been because I got a little salty when I saw it because it looked like they were in the. I didn't listen to it, but it looked like they were in the middle of trials because it was countdown on the map, and it's like
They were
Why?
100% in the middle of trials at that moment.
it's like why are you doing this?
Well,
It becomes an issue because, like you said, you use this for your own personal gain, and it could almost be traced back to you. I can only imagine how they're up when they cancel trials for 2 weeks.
And if the ban hammer happens, that person will be like, "Why am I banned? What I do?
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand."
Yeah.
I
if
was
you ask
just
that
having fun.
Yeah,
I
I don't understand.
Question. They were doing it to show how bad it was.
Yeah,
It's like,
really, because
It's like
I wanted to show Bungie. Well, they have this thing called feedback forums.
why do it in trials? Why not load up a comp or something? I mean,
Exactly.
showcase it normally or oh my
Yeah.
god, it just
Well, it goes back to all those feedback videos on YouTube where it was just people bitching and complaining. It's not a feedback video. It's them trying to get views. It's them trying to get their
is.
sub count up. If
And
going back to like I talked about T Gigs, like he put a feedback video out there, completely 100% honest, no drama, sarcasm, calling Bungo stupid for taking things out from Destiny 1. This is how I think would make Destiny 2 better. This is what I think they need to fix. This is what I love about it. This is what I don't like. Complete honest feedback. That is what gets us the bullet points we got in the TWAP. Talking about how horrible Bungie is, how stupid this game is, how horrible that doesn't fix anything. But developers watch that and they turn it off. They mute it. They're not gonna. That's not the feedback they respond to.
and it was like what really gets me is like it was so prevalent.
Prevalent?
Prevalent. Thank you. Jesus, why was I struggling with that word? Just random words that like sound like I'm saying them wrong. But one thing I hated throughout the history of D1, and it was like some high, we don't say names, but it's some high up like community people, and they would basically trash Destiny, but followed up with, "But I love this game." I am so sick of that term still that I hear people, I mean, I'll listen to like Destiny Reset say that and it's like flaring up. It's like, no, these are level-headed people. They're not that bad. They're, oh God, please just don't say that anymore. Please. Like, please. But I mean, I just get so tired of it because people are now trained, thanks to these certain people, that it's like, oh, so I can like completely badmouth someone's livelihood and expect my own, this entitlement is justified. So I'm just going to say what I want and follow it up with, but guys, I love this game. I want to see it do well for the future. It's like, shut up and get out of this community.
There was a... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead, Hanson.
I was going to say, there's a specific video. I won't name who, but it was his feedback for Destiny 2, and it was completely 100% sarcasm and bashing Bungie and calling out the developers, and not one single part of actual constructive feedback in the entire video. But then at the end it was, but at the end, I love this game. Guys, go out there, give your constructive feedback, because that's the only way this game's going to change. Wait, are you going to do that? You're telling everybody else to do it. Are you going to do it?
Because you haven't done it yet.
You haven't done it yet.
What I was gonna say is, okay, let's just do that. You trash a game, and then you just trash it, and then you say, "But I love this game." Do that to your wife. Tell her everything you don't like about her, and then go, "But I love you."
But I love you.
And see how that goes.
You're so lazy you don't do anything. Dinner's never done on time. You never cook what I want. But baby, I love you.
But I love you.
See how long that marriage lasts.
Yeah, that's not going to last too long.
Enjoy that punch in the mouth. How about that?
What do the 5 fingers say to the hand?
Yeah. If I get hit in the mouth, I'll be lucky. I'll be keeled over. Yeah.
I'm about to say, you're definitely going to catch a quick kick in the groin and then maybe a slap in the throat.
Because that's one thing. Like I said, entitlement tends to run rampant in today's age. But it comes down to the fact that it's like people seem like it's carrying over. It's like people seem to believe that just because you're deciding to invest in a video game, like to spend your quality time with, that buys you a ticket to kind of basically develop this game.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. That $60, that $90, that $100, whatever you decided to spend on an individual iteration of this game, that buys you your what was it for me, 200 and some or 300 some hours so far played. That's what that buys you, is your enjoyment that you have of playing this developer's game. Because this is not your intellectual property. This does not buy you stocks into Bungie to where you're allowed to basically run your mouth to try and get things done like a freaking spoiled brat.
Yep. Well, and what people don't realize too is, yeah, you bought the game. I understand. You're a hardcore gamer. You are 1% of the people who play this game. 70% of the people who play Destiny are casuals who probably have 20 to 50 hours right now in Destiny max, and they have an opinion too. And I've played PC. I was talking with my clan the other day because they were talking about this. They're I've played 150 hours. I got nothing else to do. This isn't what Destiny is to me. It's I understand that, but if people who can only play 1-2 nights a week, this is great. On PC, I've been taking a complete casual outlook. I don't have friends to raid. I suck with mouse and keyboard, so I probably won't be doing trials, and especially with all the top tier players being on PC, I'm going to get my butt kicked. So that's not really something I'm looking forward to do on PC. I'll do that on Xbox. But I'm playing the story, I'm doing strikes, I'm doing adventures, I'm doing lost sectors. And having that casual feeling behind it, it's made it 1,000 times more enjoyable. And it's yeah, I can see why they kind of took that route, because for the 60%, 70% of the people who actually play this game, the majority who aren't on Twitter, aren't on Reddit, they're probably loving this game right now. This has been
people that
phenomenal.
probably don't even know the existence of this podcast.
They have no idea how bad Destiny is because they're not on Twitter.
Exactly. But I mean, it's that, and it's hilarious because and people take note of how Handsome Dragon is saying the word casual. His voice doesn't dip down. It's this game was made for casuals. There's none of that. He's able to say it with an even tone. This is how you say casual without venom. Casual is not a dirty word.
I can think of a way dirtier word begins with C. I can.
I know, right?
Oh, yeah. I can.
Probably shouldn't say it, but I can
that we've gotten a strongly worded email.
Got a strongly worded email about a 6-year-old that listened to the goddamn podcast.
But
oops.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Because a lot of these hardcore players who spend hours upon hours upon hours, I used to be there in my EverQuest days, before the terms hardcore and casual were even a thing. Because this was way back in 2002. I slept Like in my EverQuest days, I slept 3 hours a night average because I worked at a restaurant and I was like I was basically a closing shift. So I would get done like 9 or 10 o'clock, like with my shifts usually. I'd get home. I would play EverQuest until dawn. Sunup was my bedtime. I'd go to sleep. Well, one of my roommates, he needed a lift to work. So I would wake up at 9 o'clock every morning to drive him to work. I would get back home. And instead of doing the smart thing and going to sleep, I'd hop on EverQuest for a few hours before my shift, work my shift, come home, hop back on EverQuest until dawn, rinse, repeat, 3 hours, like for months. And maybe an hour, like whenever I took a break, I'd catch a quick nap. And I'd have people watch out for me. It's like, Matt, your break's about up. All right. So, I mean, I know, like, the lure of hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
I know it. I felt it. I've had that hook right in my mouth for a game. But at the same time, that's not healthy. It's like, if you're proud for being a hardcore player, I feel bad for you. Because these casuals that you're bad-mouthing have a much more fulfilling life than you'll ever see.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's one of those things. Like, you can talk all you want about the casuals and how horrible they are and they're ruining your favorite game. They don't care.
No,
they are hanging out with their friends. They're going to sports games and movies.
They're getting laid right now.
They don't
probably
care
not
how
in a
bad you
while.
are.
Now,
They don't care about your 3.0 KD.
Nope.
Yeah. Nope.
I don't give a fuck about your KD. I'm gonna be honest with you. Did I have fun in that match? Did I hit you with a shield bash and make you rage? Yep.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
It's all about having fun, and you can be a hardcore gamer and not be an ass too. It goes both ways.
Or you can
It's
be
like
a
that.
casual gamer and not be an ass. And notice, like Handsome Dragon, my voice didn't dip down. Casual.
Yeah.
There was no venom.
Because
Because
that is one thing that saddens me in the podcast world is the fact that no matter who I'm listening to, it's like whenever they say the word casual,
it always dips.
it dips. It's starting
Yeah.
to dip, and casual becoming a bad word in this community, and it makes me.
At one point, I was really proud. I was listening to the. I'm so bad at names when it's early in the morning, and I have only one cup of coffee. It was the DCP Destiny Community Podcast, and they had Dado on, and I like Dado. Dado's a hardcore gamer. He has great videos and great reviews on everything. But they were talking about the clan engrams for in-game events. And if you're a hardcore gamer, that might not be something you like, because you do a raid, you complete a raid, you get raid rewards. In theory, I don't know if I've ever seen that in practice yet, but you get in-game rewards from in-game events. But then you see casuals getting these in-game rewards from not completing those. I can understand why that could be a little frustrating, but at the same time, Destiny's not. Again, I was really proud of Pope Bear for that conversation, because he kind of turned the community or the conversation around. It was just like, I get it, but this is not for you. This game is not made for you. This game is made for the casuals. Mm-hmm. He's like, and what this is doing is this is encouraging those casuals to join a clan. Most casuals aren't in a clan unless it's their 4 buddies that they've been friends with since Halo, and all 4 of them are probably casuals, and they're not completing the raid. They're not getting those rewards. This now is going to encourage them to join a bigger clan, have more friends. It's going to encourage them to say, oh, I just got this really cool helmet from this engram from the raid. I want more armor like this. Hey, when are you going to play? I'm going to do this raid now. And it's increasing the player base. It's increasing the people doing the raids, the people doing trials, and it's making the game better. Like, I can understand you want your trophies and you want to be unique and special, but this is more than, I think Pope's like, this is bigger than you.
Yeah,
It's bigger than one person. This is about the community.
Exactly.
It's great.
This isn't for you. This isn't about you.
And that is one thing. Like, legitimately, it's like in the back of my head every time I've heard it's like, if you legitimately have a problem with these clan engrams,
You're an asshole.
yeah, you have an issue. Like, you have a much bigger, deep-seated issue than because it's like, I mean, like it's being said, it's community building. It's to bring people together. There were still people. I could probably look at my and there's probably still people that haven't completed a D1 raid on PlayStation.
Guarantee.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it just comes down to the fact that, I mean, they're not just making a game. Deej, sadly, has gotten so much crap for putting out his perspective that one time on TWAB, like one of the few times. And legitimately, what Deej said, like, I don't think I covered it, like, when he said it. Kind of makes me sad now that I'm thinking back to it. But I don't care how much crap there is in Destiny. I mean, I'm a numbers guy. I want the most effective weapon. I want to look at these stats and go, okay, I want that gun. And until I get that gun, you know, I'll use this, but I want a gun. And if I get that gun, if it wasn't for my friends, if it wasn't for the community, I would not be playing Destiny.
No, 100%.
Yep.
Because I don't care what carrot Bungie puts on a stick.
It's not going to be worth it by yourself.
Because I took like a month, like, hiatus, at least. And actually, like, looking at this this website, the Scrubland website, I thought it was a month. No, in 2015, February, March, and April, out of those 3 months, I got on twice.
Oh, well, yeah.
One day for an hour. The second day for 16 minutes. Because that was a point in time where I had because when D1 came out, I was unemployed so I had a crap ton of time. So D1 was actually perfect for me because I literally had no life. I was looking for a job, and it's like I spent 12 hours a day playing Destiny 1 because I was unemployed. It's like looking for a job. It's like job hunting takes like 2 or 3 hours.
Yep. There's only so many applications you can email in.
Exactly. So there's only so many people you really want to bug in one day. But so I had plenty of time. The beginning of 15 is when I got a job. So all of a sudden, it's like my scheduling changed, timing changed, everything changed, and like I lost contact with my friends. And it wasn't until like really, because it was January, February, March, April, May, June, I was starting to kind of connect with them again, but it wasn't until July. Like I said, I always said it was a month, but like looking at this is like, oh wow, it was way more than a month. So it wasn't until July that I really got into the July of 2015 when they announced Taken King that I was starting to get back with my friends again.
Yeah.
And so we were getting back with my friends. We were getting hyped for Taken King. Or actually, could that have been around the time? No. That was later. But yeah. So I mean, without these people, without everything, I wouldn't be playing now. I wouldn't have kept playing Destiny. Like I'd already be gone. So yeah, it's the people. It's like that's what kept me playing EverQuest. Even it's like I had 2 other friends that really connected in my guild, and they kept me going. And I don't know. I love these social experiences that, you know, games like certain MMOs, they break these boundaries, like boundaries of space, time, whatever. Like I have friends in Australia, England, like our Golden Court in China. No man in Hong Kong.
The man from Hong Kong.
And in the future, it's like, holy crap.
Who I can gladly say, thanks to PC, I'm now in the same clan as Golden Court.
But yeah, I mean, there's all these amazing people I know. That's thanks to this game. And I'm grateful for that. It's like right now, I can be on this podcast talking to one of the, you know, lore-hungry minds in this game. which I'm actually kind of surprised we went through this entire episode without mentioning the term lore yet.
Lore. There we go. Lore.
So
there we
I
go.
thought that might have been an earlier conversation, but no, this kind of became member based and kind of the quit your bitching episode.
Yeah.
Oh, the subtitle for this episode, but I love this game. That's what the subtitle
go.
for this episode is.
There you go. No, this
I like
is how
it.
you truly love this game.
Yeah.
That's been like my goal, especially ever since being on, starting RNG. It's like that's been my goal, is to try to be as level-headed as I possibly can.
And you can give constructive, positive feedback.
Yeah, exactly. There's
Without
a way
being an
to say
asshole.
things, without being like a douchebag.
Yeah.
You don't have to always be a douchebag.
Yeah, yeah, and I will say on the friend thing, like that's absolutely like this game is. The point of Destiny to me is it's a social experience. It's to be with friends. This like Destiny is not Destiny if you're a solo player. Like you can still have fun. Like I actually have a friend who's a solo player. Like he'll have friends online. We'll send him invites and he won't accept them, and he enjoys playing. For him, Destiny is just exploring the world by himself, doing a strike here or there, and that's how he plays it. It's like, all right, he's not really a raider. He doesn't really do trials. That's not his thing. He just loves exploring the world and doing that. It's like, yeah, go for it, do your thing. Most people aren't like that. For most people, the game is going to be 100 times better with friends. That said, right now, most of my friends aren't playing because there's not that incentive to keep playing. So I hope, like, I'm glad that they've recognized that as
For
a problem. Because I want to play with my friends. I agree with Deej. That's why I play it. But
Exactly.
I want my friends to play. They have to play play with my friends.
I mean, that was like hilariously. I found out two of my favorite development studios are actually connected through their community managers. Because Deej has a clanmate, or used to be like Deej's clanmate back in the Halo days, that is actually the community manager for Net Studios.
Nice.
So, I mean, who do, of course, like Injustice and Mortal Kombat, in case people don't recognize the name of that studio. But yeah, I thought that was, like, really awesome because it's like there was, like, a convention or something, and Deej posted a picture. It's like, like one of my clanmates for the past however many decades or whatever, and it's like, that's Tyler. That's NRS community guy. I know him from NRS live streams.
Holy
That's
shit!
cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, and that's the thing, because, I mean, that, they're off on their, like, lives or whatever, and it's like, that's just a friendship, and that never, has gone away, and that's, like, the bonds that these games these instances, because let me tell you what, if I wanted, like, challenging content with crap to collect, and just, crap to do, I could either A, still be playing Borderlands, or B, get into Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are games with crap to collect that have challenging content that I can play on my own time without people. There's plenty of those out there. But
I don't
when
want
you
to.
add this social aspect, it's like, I want to play with these people, these incredible people that I have found and that I've discovered. I mean, it just boils down to that for me, and that's why I get so tired. It's like, I do get tired of people needing the incentive, and people, it's like, oh, but it's Bungie, and they programmed us for this, and it's like, sort of, yeah, but at the same time, it's like,
Sort of, yeah,
it's
but
kind
not
of
really.
up to you to what you want. I mean, there's people that, yeah, they want to explore. There's people with the incentive. There's people that want the camaraderie. But, I mean, I don't know. I've lost, this train is derailed for me, and I was going to make a point.
What rail? This is RNG. We don't have rails. Like the glass elevator from Willy Wonka. We can go all directions at any time, 2 directions at once. We're in like superposition. We're sitting still and moving at the same time. That's just what we do, man. If you listen to the podcast and if your one criticism is, man, they really go on side tangents, then you've only listened to a episode. Listen to some other episodes. We go on side tangents, 2 tangents at the same time. Des will go one way, I'll go the exact opposite. It's what happens, man.
And that's the thing. When Buster came up to me, I was thinking about calling it the RNG cast. My first word was perfect. Perfect, because we side tangent even, I mean, just in normal conversation, it's like, it's perfect, because this is going to be how the podcast is. It's basically us talking. And that's what it has turned into for these.
Are you guys Office fans?
Wait, the movie?
Oh, the show?
Office, the TV show.
Okay, let me just tell you about
I thought
the.
you were talking about the movie.
Let me just
but
tell
that's
you,
Office Space.
Let me tell you about The Office. I have seen The Office to completion 3 times this year alone.
Perfect. Yep.
My girlfriend is the
we're on
biggest.
pace with you.
She is the biggest Office fan ever. Like,
My 5-year-old and 2-year-old love The Office, and they'll be like, they'll make a little comment. It's like, "Is this the one where Dwight?" And he's like, "Yep, that's it."
I love it so much because, like, I'll do little cute things, you know, because we all have significant others, some girlfriends.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the episode where Dwight? This is a side office tangent, guys. Warning. Where Dwight was at the farm after his aunt died, and he threw the crow beaks at the girl's feet.
Crushes it.
Yeah, she crushes it, and then his sister was like, "I forgot about this," and then she explained it. Later on that night, well, come on now, who can find crow beaks? Let's just be honest. So I took little scraps of paper and wrote crow beaks on it, and walked up to my girlfriend and threw it in front of her. And she just like looked up at me. And then when she looked up at me, I did the Pam and Jim mental picture.
Mm-hmm. The snap.
And she was like, "I love you so much."
Boom. Brownie points.
Yeah.
I love it.
Instantly.
Well, I asked because there's one scene where the company that they work for, Dunder Mifflin, is struggling. Like all the branches are doing bad except for the one branch that is in Scranton that Michael Scott is the manager of, and so he gets called down. He thinks he's going to get in trouble because he's always doing something stupid. And like, yeah. So basically, they ask him, they say that it's like, we're struggling except for you. Like, what are you doing right? Starts off. He's like, and he just goes off on this huge tangent, and like none of it makes any sense. And like the guy, like David Wallace, is looking at him like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." And like in my, he's like, "Sometimes I start off in a path, and I just keep going, and I have no idea where it's taking me." And it's like, yeah, it reminds me of you guys. I love Michael Scott. I love the tangents. It's like, I started here, don't really know where I'm going, but I'm just going to keep going until I figure it out.
That's me, and that's like conversation with my wife. Half the time, end up going, "How did I get here?"
Like, where was I?
Like, we started talking about this, and now we're talking about what?
Have you ever started a conversation with your wife and then go on like a little side tangent and then look at her and realize she is checked out? just completely, she's on her phone, on Instagram, and you're like, "Come on, man, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take." Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
Michael Scott. I want to buy it. I saw it on, I think I saw it on Amazon, but it was like a picture frame, and it had the quote, it had that quote, "You miss every shot you don't take, Wayne Gretzky," and then had underscore Michael Scott. It's like, I need
that. There's a couple other, obviously I like The Office, and I like Parks and Rec. Like, for the DRA, the reveal in LA, I wore my Dwight shirt, and it has a Dwight Schrute wearing a bear costume, eating a beet, riding Battleship, and no one had any idea what it was. They're like, oh, like they knew. They go, "Oh, is that Dwight?" Like yeah, it is, and hoping they'd get the reference for bears, beets, Battlestar Galactica. And why is he in a bear costume? Like, oh, you're not a real fan. Yeah.
You're not a real fan.
You don't get it.
You don't know.
But let's get this train back on the track, if it does believe. Zer came this week.
Zer!
He's at IO.
Yes.
I will say the episode, he is on the planet that the flashpoints are on. Just makes it easy for us.
Yeah, it does.
And the lovable Agent of the Nine has in his bag of holding Mark II, the Darcy.
He brought his personal assistant.
Nice. So I picked it up last night. I haven't used it too much. I heard a lot of talk about it early on, about it being really good. I tested it out just kind of when we were running around the underbelly during the raid, and it didn't seem like it did a ton of damage. Have you guys used it? Do you have thoughts on it?
That's just sniper rifles in general in PvE right now. It's not going to do anything amazing, but because I was able to get Darcy to drop a couple weeks ago for me, and I messed around with it, and it's interesting, like the way it works. But I think its biggest strength, I feel, is like it's snappy.
Okay.
It's kind of almost D1 sniper snappy.
So it'd be a good crucible weapon, probably.
Yeah, oh wait, it definitely is. But I mean, it's like, but yeah, that's like its biggest. It's like to me anyway, is it's got some nice like stability and such to it. And the handling is like just almost a skyrocket. But yeah, it's almost a D1 sniper. So
Okay. Nice.
it just feels really crisp. Is it?
Yeah. And if you're a Titan and you didn't pick the chest piece to get for the auto rifle reloader when you did a story mission, he's selling those again.
Oh,
you should go pick.
I mean the Actium War Rig,
Yep.
or as I like to call it, the thing I don't take off my chest when I play my
Yep.
Titan.
Which I've got to say, as soon as I bought this, did I even infuse it, or did I just start using it? Holy crap! I just realized I may have. Yeah, I just threw it on. I didn't even infuse it, but I started scrolling with Sweet Business. Oh my god! You pair those two things together, it's like when am I going to stop shooting?
Exactly. It's so much fun.
Trick question,
Never
not.
stop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you're going to run out of things to kill before you stop shooting.
It's true.
Oh, but it is fun. It's
Yeah, like on my PC Titan, I have those, and then I have the Sandwasp and the Ross Lewis, some other double auto rifle. I just go one big between both of them. I'm just firing nonstop.
Yeah, it's definitely like it would definitely benefit like this chest piece. I stutter and stumble a little as I very secretly open up the Bird Rock. But anyway, it
Stealth
really
from the Bird Rock.
yeah, it really benefits from like I've noticed it like extraordinarily benefits from the auto rifles that have giant ammo clips, basically. Like because I was using it with like what was it? I think it was Origin Story. Might have been like crap like that, but it's like around the like 40ish. It doesn't quite seem to help so much, but as you get into like the 50s, basically. Oh wait, that's not even. Oh, I'm sorry.
Like the Valacaden.
Exactly. Well, I mean, basically, if you're looking like to most effectively use these, without of course, Sweet Business. Like I said, it's got like freaking 90 round clip, and good God.
Yeah,
but
it's insane.
Guiding Star apparently has a 52 round clip, and Valacaden, Perseverance 52. Not the best archetypes to use, but like I said, for this.
When you've got 100 bullets.
Exactly. Like you really feel it more the deeper ammo reserve or the deeper clip you have. Because these 30 round things, it's like you might get like one reload before they're all done. And then it's like
I'm waiting for those videos or the spreadsheets that eventually show up on Reddit with the people who just have way too many math skills and time on their hands. And they're like, they figure out exactly how many bullets those auto rifles and SMGs shoot. I'm just like because I am curious. I'm like, all right, how many bullets does my Sweet Business actually shoot if I just go until it's completely out? It's like, I'm guessing it's in the 200 range.
It would probably have to be. I'm guessing. Because it's not that. Because it's probably like once a second, I think. It takes 10 rounds back into your thing. And even been up to like, I think it's 900 RPM?
At the bottom of like the bottom third of the magazine, it spins up to 9.
So I mean, it's I don't know.
It goes from the slowest to the fastest relatively quickly, but
quick.
it's still it's still a feeling. Like you got to get You gotta
So
get
this
ready
is
for it.
definitely. It's definitely, like I said, it's definitely more fun than I thought it'd be, because reading it is kind of like, I can see what they're going for, but
Yeah, and I could see for PvP, I could see the SMG ones, like it's the boots. I could see those. I haven't got those yet, but I could see those being good.
Oh, the Peacekeepers?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're amazing.
I love SMGs in PvP, but like so many times, like I'll get that one kill, and then the other guy walks around the corner, and I've got 2 bullets left. I'm like, oh, so much for that.
Wait, what's there selling for the hunters?
Knucklehead Radar.
Oh, Knucklehead Radar, which for some reason I thought I didn't have, so I bought one. Oh, I have one. So actually, I would have had over 900 legendaries. Because I apparently do that a little more often than I want to. It's like, I don't have this. Oh, wait, yeah, I did.
Yeah, I totally have this.
But Knucklehead Radar, wasn't that 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Why
sure
Was it the Foe Tracer?
I mean, why are hunters getting the Warlock treatment from Xur in D2?
Sunbreaker.
Yeah, Sunbreaker. It's like, holy crap! But Knucklehead Radar, it hasn't changed. It's a solid freaking choice. It was solid in D1. It's thanks to some of the mechanics in D2, it's a little more solid.
Yeah, I would agree with too because of how the delay on the radar now.
Exactly.
Go ADS.
And that's like the
Hard
one
to do
thing I
that
really, that's one thing I really enjoyed in the long run about Mida. The reason I was like really using it, like a lot, wasn't even because like its range or high cals, but the fact that I could like do that Destiny 1 like kind of peak. It's like aim down, come back, and like my radar's always there. So
Exactly.
So yeah, Knucklehead gives you that regardless.
Yeah. If you're a fan of the Nameless Midnight Scout, then you pair that with the Knucklehead. You've got a better Mida pretty much in your hands.
And then sadly, I'm going to admit, like for the Warlock thing, I didn't put it on. I bought it. I ran around with my Warlock, but I didn't put it on, and I didn't even read what it did until just now.
That's all.
I'm sorry.
Is it the I have another world? Is that what you summoned?
Yeah. So it's like, oh, this is actually like, wow. Highlights priority targets and improves the regeneration speed of your grenade, melee, and rift abilities.
So
wait, what?
It works. Yeah.
I think it's if you're doing like high level content like a raid or Nightfall, I think it's the best option for Warlocks.
For sure.
If you're just running around patrol, the Karnstein gauntlets I think are better because they recharge all that stuff.
It's like
on every melee, even if it's charged melee or not. So you can just punch.
Yeah.
But it's a lot harder to punch on like a prestige raid or a Nightfall where they're gonna punch you back and kill you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's simply for each ability, melee, grenade, class ability, it's like having an additional mod. So it's basically 3 mods in one.
I mean, it's now I understand. Like, for some reason, this is something I never like looked at because I've seen like so many Warlocks in PvP wearing this, and it's just I don't know. I just haven't looked at it, and like I even went to buy it, and it's like, yep, I never looked at it, and now that I read it, it's like
I really should have looked at this.
Yeah, this may never leave my Warlock.
And it looks awesome. Super cool.
It does. It looks cool. So I mean, yeah, because I was screwing around with the Lunafaction boots because another thing your Rift can do. Like if you're freaking
I use those those are my when I'm at Callus, and I usually the like in the shadow room, and I'll put that on, and then we'll just kind of go in and out to like constantly be refilling our ammo. It helps. It works with the skulls a lot.
That with the Titan with the Actium War Rig on, you never have to reload.
Oh yeah,
it's ridiculous. I mean, that's every time Xur comes every week. I'm like Lunafaction boots, Lunafaction boots, and I'm like, nope. Okay, thank you. Never mind. I'll still get something.
Oh, and that reminds me, I still haven't actually seen what the transversive steps. Because all right, transversive steps, like part of it is like energy weapons are automatically reloaded, but when?
Yeah, I haven't tested that one actually. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't like went to see like exactly.
I think it's when you sprint. I think it's when sprinting. It's like because
I might actually be right.
It. So it's like as you're sprinting, a little like modifier will
no,
and like boom,
I did test
it shows up.
Yeah, I think it's about as fast as the War Rig. But yeah, I do believe it's because I'm wanting to say like I seem to now be reminded of a situation where I was running on my Warlock and having it reload. So I do believe that is the case.
Yeah, I'm pretty
I
sure.
may have to retest it and like come back because I actually made a giant boo boo that I'm surprised like nobody has pointed out. I realized what I said, and I've been letting it slide for like since Iron Banner, and nobody has pointed out this mistake. But I made mention that if the Wizen Rebuke had the Plan C perk, it would be a little better.
It does have the Plan C perk.
It actually does have the Plan C perk.
Well, it's like Plan C minor.
Well, I mean, that's the thing because there's like 3 fusion rifles that have that perk.
Mm-hmm.
Critical Sass, Shana, and then Wizen Rebuke. Apparently I didn't have one drop when I thought I did, because I did end up having one drop, and I looked at it, it's like, oh, I made a boo-boo, and I'm going to have to, like, make a retraction, and then I was like, you know what?
No one said
I'm
anything.
going to say if anyone else noticed, so all of you guys suck. You need to get on your game.
But I love you guys.
But I love you.
Love you guys. You're horrible. You're awful. Oh my god.
Yeah,
But no.
That helmet for the Warlock is just I mean, even if you don't run a Devour build, it's still useful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, good god, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's just.
I mean, I was using the Winter's Guile, and that's fun. The gauntlets he sent last.
I haven't tried those yet. I heard those
Oh
are
my god!
fun though.
You get 5 stacks of the buff, and you're just punching through chests.
That's awesome. I'll have to try that.
Oh, okay, and the highlight thing is actually pretty cool too. It's kind of like the highlight scopes.
Yeah, it's just built-in highlight.
You don't have to actually scope in, which is kind of weird. And it's bad that I've gotten so used to those scopes that I kind of like them.
Oh, I love
It's like
them.
they're like everywhere, and I really like them.
Yeah.
And I'm almost to the point of like deciding on guns to use based on if they have a highlighting scope. I don't want to be like that though. I just want to use a gun because it's good.
It's
But I really like
it's called the
highlighting
Hake. It's called the Hake Watchdog, right? That's what it's called? I
Well,
think.
Haka has them. Well, trust me, everyone has it now. Because Suros has threat evaluation scope. Okay, that's the key term you want to look for. Threat evaluation. If that terminology, that vernacular, is inserted into the scope, it's a highlight scope. Except for exotics. It seems like almost every exotic highlights targets. I know Mida does. It's like, this is new. Mm-hmm. It's like, this was a Jade Rabbit intrinsic.
Hey, this is different. Thanks.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, if anyone out there still playing Destiny 1 on Xbox, Xur is still on the Jade Rabbit, so go enjoy your exclusive content.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing.
If anybody out there still plays Destiny 1.
Yeah, Xbox players, you can finally use the Jade Rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
As I say with the question mark.
Like,
Way to go.
Which, there's another like piece of conversation, like people saying. I'm always like getting reminded like of these like criticism, like quote unquote like huge air quote criticisms of Destiny 2. It's like one of the parts like people are like, oh, but we want more guns. It's like, well, for one, season just like, oh hey, we're making more guns.
Yeah.
Like you want an Iron Banner hand cannon in both kinetic and energy?
Done.
We got you covered.
Gotcha.
Like, didn't want that, but thanks. I mean, I'm cool with like certain weapons being like figuring out my loadout based on what weapons are provided where. But I mean, in season 2, you'll be able to equip like 2 Iron Banner autos.
Yeah,
Cool.
that'll be fun.
Daddy, I took that auto. Hi.
My girls are home.
My baby all dirty.
Baby's dirty. All right, can you say hi? Say hi.
I'm recording.
Close enough.
Can I say?
But yes, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's like, I can go on and on, but I mean,
Listeners of this podcast got a little taste of cuteness just there.
I know, right?
Just
Adorable.
there. My heart melted just a touch. Like, I was like, oh, she sounds so little.
I know, right? That's too tiny.
And I remember...
That's my 2-year-old.
Oh, I remember. Two. We get sassy.
Yeah, that would be my 5-year-old.
And that's about right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right. That's like when it starts.
Yeah.
Then it goes into critical mass because
Oh.
mine's like now 13,
Yeah,
14. It's like,
It's the beginning of thinking they know everything and everything you say is stupid and wrong.
yeah, which I mean, it's like I tell her, it's like, I know it seems impossible, but I do remember being your age.
And I made the same stupid things you're trying to do right now.
Yeah, that's what I told my son. I'm like, listen, there's nothing that you can do that I haven't done and added worse things to it. So just tell me.
That's why dads are so protective of their girls and so against boys. Because like I know exactly what I was thinking when I was that age.
Exactly.
Get away from my daughter.
Yeah,
In fact, I was probably thinking it before you were thinking it right now. So no.
No.
don't do that. Don't look at her. Like that's.
Back away.
That's
away.
why I kept. Actually, in hindsight, be why I've met so few of my daughter's boyfriends. But
She's like, you don't need to meet dad.
but it used to be the joke that I'd be the dad. Like, I don't own guns, so I wouldn't be that guy like cleaning the shotgun out on the front porch. But I do own a couple machetes. So I'd be like,
that might even be more threatening. Just sitting out there sharpening your machete out on the living room.
just chilling out, just shing. You come from my daughter, boy. Shing.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna have her home on time, right? No funny business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
And
like I said,
my favorite
hilariously, after years of those threats, I've met very few of her boyfriends.
That doesn't. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. My thing is, I always said my best friend, he has 2 daughters, and have you ever seen the movies Bad Boys 2?
Yeah.
When the kid knocks at the door and he answers it with the gun out, he's like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
His wife always makes that joke every time it comes on. She looks at both of us, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's about right." Don't come knocking on the door. Don't come knocking on the door.
I like the phrase. I've never been to jail, or what is this like? Oh man, I'm gonna miss my phrase, but it's like I've never been to jail, but I'm not afraid to go or something like that. It's like I'm not afraid.
One of the lines was, "Have you ever kissed a man? Do you want to?"
Do you want to?
Like, what? What a terrifying prospect.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh my god, yeah, that's like I said. Hilariously, one of her boyfriend, like whenever he'd come in, like I'd just be chilling, listening. He'd like to be standing like right at the door. I mean, 'cause for some reason he was terrified of him. Like he was terrified of both, like me and my wife, like rationally.
Well, Des, you are a large man.
I am. But I mean, this kid. I mean, he would like come in and stand by the door, and I would just turn around. I was like, "You can sit down." It's like, "I'm good, sir." It's like, all right, all right.
It's like all right.
He was very, like I said, he was terrified.
Boy, you're making me uncomfortable. Sit down.
Sit down.
I decided not to go that far because I figured that might actually cause some traumatic stress.
Oh, Jesus. So.
Well, Jesus. So yeah, Zer's got some fun stuff. Blah blah blah. It's as we've said, on this podcast. But yeah, as we've said, I mean, things are going to be looking up. Bungie's listening, and at the start of the journey, they're already talking about some great steps forward, which is record time for Bungie because it took them to like House of Wolves to fix like some D1 issues.
Yeah.
Some fairly deep-seated
No, absolutely.
issues.
It was
So,
a
I
long
mean-
time before we were getting these conversations from
Exactly.
from Bungie and D1. Absolutely.
They've learned. We're getting improvements. Like I said, once personally, I'll start like legitimately comparing this to Destiny 1 when the expansion comes out.
Yeah.
And then we'll see like how it stacks and compares. But yeah, I think that's about that, yeah. Because Lord knows we've talked about enough crap today.
Yeah, and Handsome Dragon probably has his two kids like looking at him like, we're gonna play dress up, and you're coming with us. It's tea party time, Dad. So wrap it up.
They went for a hike this morning to
Yeah.
Mama trying to help out,
Oh,
get some quiet time. But they're ready for play some games. I think we're gonna do some pumpkin carving later, about an hour or so.
well, let Mrs. Dragon know we appreciate her lending us you for the time, and let everybody know where they can find you and your wonderful positive tweets and everything else.
As long as I'm not talking to stupid people, they're pretty positive. But then sometimes I can get a little salty sometimes, but it's usually salty at people being stupid. But you could find me at Handsome Dragon on Twitter. The O's are zeros. And then you can find me on Twitch. I haven't been streaming lately, but every now and then you can find me on there. Same tag. You can also. We're not really sure. We're still kind of debating what's happening with the last. We all want to get back into it. The lore in Destiny 2 is kind of an odd place right now. So we've kind of been discussing it, so we haven't been recording in a while. But hopefully we'll be getting back to the Lorecast, and that's the Destiny Lorecast on Twitter.
Yeah, they've definitely made the lore like a little more difficult to kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, not really. It's everywhere. It's just a lot of
Yeah.
everywhere, and that's like the issue. It's like there's no. It's like it's great that it's in the game and all, but
Yeah, and there's not a lot of mystery too, which is what made Destiny 1 great. Is you could take any topic and talk about it for hours and hours and hours, and not really have a definitive answer. It was all discussion. Whereas now it's, hi, my name is John. This is my family. This is their names. This is what they did.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, that's cool. I like that story, but there's no mystery behind it. There's no nothing for me to really dive deep into it. And then
like
there's just not as much of it as there was in Destiny 1.
yeah,
With,
like,
like,
a
the
lot of
mystery
tidbits,
stuff.
like you said, it's like, oh, these people are doing this thing. It's like, okay, it's like it's really cool because we get introduced to like SRL legends, and it's like,
Right.
yeah, but that's just like their names and crap.
Yeah. I made a tweet. I kind of compared like I think the lore is in the same place the game is. Like the game is fun and amazing, but there's not a lot of incentive to keep doing those fun, amazing things. The lore is great and amazing, but there's not a lot of incentive to kind of dive into it or study it and get into. Like it's kind of in that same place.
Yeah.
For sure.
There's not the reason behind it. It's there, but it's like okay, why should I keep going to it? Why should I have a 3-hour podcast on this?
Good luck doing that.
Yeah.
Coming from us, that's kind of messed up to say, right? Good luck with that.
Good luck. I don't think you can. No, I think they're. I think they're listening. I think there's a lot of vocal lore people in the community, and they've made their concerns known, and I think Bungie's listening, and hopefully we get the improvements we're all looking for.
Oh, for sure. It's just a matter of.
Mm-hmm.
And
exactly.
like I said, from what they've been showing us,
Yeah.
might be quicker than a lot of us D1 veterans have
Yeah.
thought.
And I think a lot of it is just, it's that disconnect or that. Whereas, like in Destiny 1, there's a lot of feedback was, we want the lore in the game. We want the lore in the game, and I think the action Bungie took for it was great, but it was slightly misinterpreted from what the community wanted. Like I love that there's story in the game. The story is incredible. Like with my PC, I've played the story 4 times now, and I've loved it all 4 times. But when we said we wanted the lore in the game, it's like we wanted the grimoire in the game. But, if you play Mass Effect, you want that codex. You want something in where I could go inventory, select this, and I've got this list of all the ghost scans that I've found. It's got the list of all the enemy cards that I've discovered. Like I want the lore in the game. But I
Yeah.
also want to have that deep dive where I'm sitting on the toilet and I want to read some Grimoire cards. Like that was a big part of Destiny 1.
But yeah, for sure. They've done some things like to throw over.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. But since RNG, we derail everything. But this is your boy Raven. You can find me on Twitter at DES_Raven. I'm a little quiet because apparently I don't have as many targets to tweet at as Handsome does. But I imagine a lot of my tweets might be in the same vein. But again, tweet at me. Like, start a conversation. Like, you know, like I've said before, like, I'll have a conversation about anything. It's like, I'll tell you why you're wrong if you think Final Fantasy VII is the best ever. I'm sorry, but you are. But yeah, you could find me on Twitch, which I swear eventually I'm going to do something with it. I keep putting it out, but twitch.tv/The Corvus Nest, and search me on YouTube at DeathSwitchRaven. And yeah.
And
But remember, guys, I love you.
I love you. And I'm Buster Knuckle.
I love you.
And I'm Buster Knuckle. You can find me on Twitter at Buster Knuckle. That's Buster Knuckle13. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Buster_Knuckle, and just search me on YouTube. Just search Buster Knuckle. You'll find me. I do videos that I'm going to start working on, I swear, I promise. I love you guys. You can find this podcast, The RNG Cast, at The RNG Cast on Twitter. You can email us, therngcast@gmail.com. We also have a Patreon if you want to support us monetarily. We do not require it. If you'd like to, we appreciate it. Patreon.com/therngcast.
I mean, you're all awful if you don't support us, and you're horrible, but
Terrible people.
we love you.
You.
This might be a new running gag for a while.
Yeah, this will probably be the running gag
For a week or two.
Yeah, you better get used to it because this is going to happen for a while. And this is, by the way, episode 75 of the RNG Cast.
Wow.
We're out.
Later, man.
Bye.
See you all next week.